What is Gucci? Manucci's. We are live. Welcome to the Half Court Podcast. My name is Darwin. You already know we got AV behind the camera. And today we got the brother. We got one of the coldest photographers here in the city. We got my guy, Dillon. Hey, brother. Welcome to the podcast, man.
It's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Hey, right now, this is probably the earliest we've done this podcast, and it kind of hits different, huh?
Kind of like it, man. Kind of like it.
That's what I was going to tell you, bro. I do like it more because, like, normally on Sundays, bro, like, we'll schedule somebody, like, at 7, and it's just a lazy Sunday, and it's like, by the time it's like,
down and shit.
Yeah, we're all like, man, I just want to chill, like, fuck this, and we had to reschedule a lot of them, so we're like, if we do Sundays, let's do them in the morning, because that's...
I got to get that little wake and bacon, man.
Yeah, get that productive morning
But
going.
yeah, brother, let's kind of just, get it rolling, man. Tell the people, man, what you got going on, and what do you do, man?
For sure, man. I'm a photographer, kind of self-taught, started on my own. I still work at restaurants. I've been in the service industry for a long time, 14 years, and I'm 28. So
what do you do on with the restaurants? Like?
So I manage a couple days a week at the restaurant I'm at now, and then I bartend and serve pretty much wherever they need me.
Yeah.
Shout out to the whole service industry too, man. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. It's
right
tough.
now. This time is
it's a rough one,
man.
It is.
Like even if I do delivery, bro. Like if I go and do a pickup at a restaurant or whatever, I still leave a tip.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, I gotta support in any way I can, because it's like gotta
That's the
appreciate
best way
these
to do it,
businesses,
man.
these small businesses.
Yeah, just to give a little bit of insight on that note, I work at a ramen house in Midtown, Tamashi Ramen House. It's locally owned. They have two restaurants. One is full service. One is like fast casual counter service. So you order at the counter, sit down. We've had to close 3 times since this started.
Yeah.
So there's no like, we don't get that like, so
break.
sorry,
and
kind of
like,
go back. I worked for big restaurant groups too.
Like,
House
corporate?
Smith, yeah. House Smith owns, Louis the Garage, Pub W, Mama Roja, Hefner Grill, Charleston's. It's the biggest restaurant group in Oklahoma, easy, and then even they're in other states too. When I was there at the very beginning of COVID and they closed down, they got that small business relief fund, like $10 million just to pay bills, to pay labor, to pay for food.
Yeah.
They lost profit, but they didn't lose any money.
Right.
They didn't go in the
So
red.
do the small businesses don't qualify for that?
It just
type of stuff?
depends. So like the thing with the restaurant I work for now is more of like we don't know if we can afford to pay that back.
Right.
It's $10 million.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
So it's like it's kind of black and white, and I don't know all the exact details on it, but it's one of those like,
It's
hey,
one of those that you're taking money and then
if
you
we
gotta
have
pay
to
it back. So
or if we take this money and we screw up and we have to close, what do we do?
run off on the plug.
Exactly.
I think what piggyback on what you're saying and stuff, I think we all need to be more appreciative of like the local and like authentic restaurants, because
for sure
the chains, they can hold it down. They they're going to be all right. And there's something about authentic food that is just much.
Man, and it's so sad to walk in there and see them like the pho.
Yeah.
Whenever they barely open back up, it was one of those to where like, I was like, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and some people
I
won't
went back
though.
and it was empty, bro. So
yeah,
you
some
see the
people
little
won't. They're
chinitos
scared.
just sad, like right there, like we went from seeing it packed the fuck out to just like 4 people in there, 3 people in there.
And it's
like,
the restaurant I work at is, we have a ton of servers, we have hosts, we have back of house guys, kitchen guys that most of them aren't supposed to be here. I might be wrong, but the majority of people who work in the kitchen at a restaurant, they're not supposed to be in the U.S.
Yeah.
When we close down, those guys have they can't get unemployment. They can't. They have nothing.
I was roofing. Or
I'm complaining, but those guys have it way worse than I did. But we've had to close. We closed for almost a month the first time. I was out of work, out of my full-time job, quote unquote, for almost a month, and then I go back and we get to work for a couple months, and then we got to close for 2 more weeks because somebody got sick again. And then at this last time just happened not too long ago. I've been tested 3 times in the last month and a half because of all this, because somebody at work gets sick and then they're like, no, well, we need everybody.
It's such a and then that's what I was saying, like in the podcast I had with Oscar and stuff. It's just such a gray area, and y'all motherfuckers were getting onto me, especially Oscar. But it's just such a weird.
Stop crying, man.
It's just a weird thing. It's like a gray area because it's like, yeah, there's a virus out there, but you also got to pay bills. You also got to, you got to get the shit, because if not, and it's like, but you also got to be precautious, and like,
Exactly.
it's so weird. Like even me, like I work at a retail store, and it's like, I don't know if this person that walks in has it. He might have a mask, but if he touches or like, hey,
I think
He
the
touches
only,
his
the
face
only
or
thing
do this.
that I've kind of put into my head is kind of like the whole immune system thing. So like, I'm like, I can't see this shit. I can't touch it. I can't feel it. So all I can do is like try to
Wash your hands, bro.
hey.
Wash
you
your
know
hands.
what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
all I can. Because if I sit there and like fucking, that shit is crazy, bro.
Wash your hands.
And I don't
You'll
think
drive
about it too
yourself
much.
crazy.
Exactly. I don't think about it
for
too
sure.
much because it's like somebody can come in and say, hey, my phone is having this issue, and they can have a mask. And then I go ahead and check, the phone's this, and there
And I
I
mean,
got it.
you're touching phones, bro. Phones are like the dirtiest
Yeah,
things.
for
Like,
sure.
people
And I'm
are-
always
like
disinfecting.
people are on their phone when
For
they're
sure.
taking the shit all the time.
Like,
so it's like
you think these ashy hands are ashy because they're ashy? No, it's because all the damn hand sanitizer I be
Sanitizer.
using.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Shit.
saying? So it's like,
I mean,
it's
that's
crazy.
the biggest thing is just wash your hands.
But yeah, a lot of people also need to realize that too. That now you mention it, like clean your goddamn phones because that shit is disgusting. Like we've had people that sometimes I don't even touch the phone. That's how nasty it is because
You can
they'll
see
leave it
that
in the
it's nasty.
case for so long and not even like and clean it. So you got to keep in mind you're touching it, then you put it in your like face to pick up a call and shit, and then. Like, come on.
yeah.
And then sometimes people just take a piss and don't wash their hands and then boom again. And it's like, shit.
Right.
You know, so it's like, y'all got to keep in mind that shit. Like, clean your goddamn phone because that shit is nastier than a toilet bowl.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But yeah, man, I do that. And, fortunately, we're back and we're doing okay. I work at a restaurant that has a huge following, not necessarily like online or social media or whatever. It's crazy how busy we get. We only have 12 tables open in the restaurant. And on average, every night, Sunday through Thursday, we're on an hour wait every night. Friday and Saturday, this past Friday and Saturday, we were on a 2-hour wait. People outside in the cold waiting to come in and
Is
eat
that
ramen.
good stuff, huh? I'm going to have to try it out, bro.
It's good Japanese stuff. Shout out to Tomashi's, man. It's a good restaurant.
Yeah, I love me some authentic. We have our little favorites and stuff, and we always are open to look for new restaurants.
For sure.
Because it's like the authenticity. Like, you can go and just try out the shit.
Food is life.
Food
Food is life. Yeah. So it's
on
like,
that note of supporting local and tipping local places and ordering online from local places, I mean we're local, like so.
Yeah.
That's how I think about it. I think about it in the same sense of somebody hits me up to shoot a wedding and they're like, "Hey, I need video. I don't do video. Video overwhelms me." So first thing I look for is somebody local,
Right.
And
exactly.
I hope that when somebody reaches out to me for photos, they're like,
and that's the whole
being
beauty
local
of,
wants to make them book you even more because you're local, because you're from the same spot as them, the same area, trying
if
to
you
grow
don't
with
support
them.
local, fuck you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Shop small.
Yeah. We're all about that, man. I want to get to the point where my closet is just full of like local, like, G Fit, you got I got the homies, fucking Gallos and stuff. And like, I just purchased what is it? Epic JJ.
Yeah.
Like, I want the
Even
closet to be full of
bro,
it,
like for the longest time, we would sit there and watch people from other places do their thing. So
And we were supporting them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a motherfucker, bro. I remember everybody from Cali, like the first YouTubers. I was subscribed. I was
ordering
commenting.
merch.
So now it's good to see people. Like
From
Oklahoma
here.
always kind of catches up to shit late, but right now I feel like it's a good time because everybody's like
We're all on the same.
motivated.
We're on the same plane
It's
right
crazy,
now, man.
bro. And it's like,
and we can all help each other.
Well, if
like,
you
Exactly.
if you look at it in that sense, like right now, LA, like you were just saying, they're locked down.
yeah,
Yeah.
New York, is
Like they're
down.
doing stuff, but like I have social media homies on Instagram who are photographers who started brands and stuff, and they throw me stuff and hey, snap some photos, bro, for my Instagram, blah blah blah. Cool, Right now I can't even get any gear from them because they're locked down. He's like, bro, I can't. It's taking me too long to send
it's
people shit
fucking
that are paying
everything,
for it. So just bear with me,
Yeah, it's cool to
So-
see it because like you see it now on like back at like I used to go on my Facebook timeline and scroll and I wouldn't see shit as far as people creating.
Yeah.
Now I go and I'll see people like doing
Anybody,
YouTube
everybody,
video.
yeah.
And it's cool. It's cool. I'm like I'm with it. Like I kind of felt to a certain point that I was like probably the only one that was doing shit. And then it was like now, I see Rolando doing this shit with the
Hell
wallets.
yeah.
That's fucking
Shout out
amazing.
Callus
And
Leather.
he's putting content out there.
one of the best wallets I've ever owned.
yeah,
man.
bro,
Yeah,
for
hell yeah.
real.
You feel a little different when you take the
Oh,
little thing
man.
out.
yeah. it's-
Mine's a little bitty too, and I'm like, I pull it out. Mine's like kind of crazy colors compared to any other wallet I've ever owned, but
it's custom.
I look at it and I'm like,
I can't
look,
wait to have that guy back. He's gonna.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
gonna
man.
he's gonna
He's
eat
doing
this
it, bro.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna eat this shit. But yeah, I mean, it's just the creative thing is something. That's why like I have my vlogging camera always ready. That way I can just grab that motherfucker and just go, you know. And then,
hey, my backpack, man, I'm starting to have back problems because that motherfucker's always full of shit.
Yeah, and it's always on you, huh?
And yeah, my boss at work, at the restaurant, I always have it with me. I do photos for them and for the social media on their page sometimes. And he's always like, man, you always got that big ass backpack with you. And I'm like, bro, you never know.
Yeah.
He's like, you work until 11 at night. And I'm like, bro, we go out there and do some long exposure photos. Like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but the most dreading part of doing all this shit is leaving because you're like, what did I forget?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, God.
What did I forget?
For sure.
Yeah. So, you are one of the coldest photographers here, bro. And
Appreciate
I think your passion for it is kind of...
Within a small amount of time, too, you came up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
bro,
haven't been doing it for super long.
Yeah, but it's like you can see the passion because like I can do photography, but I ain't as passionate. And I feel like when you are passionate, you add that little spice to it.
As Joseph would say, every time this motherfucker goes out, he gets bangers.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, when you're passionate about it, like I like to do the creative shit. Like maybe like I'll do a photo shoot of me like repping this shit or whatever. Yeah. But you seem to have that passion for every scenario, whether it's cars, whether it's people, whether it's weddings, whether it's whatever the hell it is, product, you're just there. Like,
so I think it's
what sparked it? Because you say you have like what, a year in the game?
A little more.
A little bit more.
Yeah, I say like between a year and a half and 2 years. Kind of when I picked up a camera and started working, watching endless amounts of YouTube videos, teaching myself.
Was that process fun? Because I found it fun when I started like learning even more about video.
Yeah.
Because like I quit my job and I took a month just to be in school, which was YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was excited. Every morning I would wake up and fucking search something up. And
for sure.
Boom. That was like learning, taking notes. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. So I think that period of time, I spent more money on things I got a Skillshare account. Like I spent more money on things than photography related than I ever have I bought a camera. I bought lenses. Like I bought shit that I knew I didn't know how to use yet. With the hopes of like, I'm going to watch so much fucking YouTube that I'm going to learn this.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure this out. Dude, it was like being a kid and I suck at math. It was like being a kid in math class and like understanding shit.
Yeah. Like the nerd.
And getting
like
excited like, oh my God, I know how to do this shit. I went to school for IT. So I went to school for I didn't finish, but I played soccer in college. I went to school for IT. So things with screens, buttons, it can get on the internet and you can do stuff with it.
Yeah.
I'm for it. I don't care what it is. I picked up a camera because I had bad habits because I drank too much. Working in the service industry is kind of a lifestyle. You get off, you make a bunch of money. You make $200-300 in tips.
Yeah.
You get off of work at 11 o'clock at night and everybody's tired and we all need a beer. So you go out and have a beer, and then you have two, and then you have six. I used to fucking drink
because I used to work at a restaurant in Puerto Rico. It was a tourist one, but I used to drink on shift.
Yeah,
shout out to my guy. The bartender would always be like,
"Hook you up." Yeah,
the service industry is just fun, man. Like if you,
it is, man.
Especially if you become good at it. Like you have, it's like being a barber almost, but times probably a lot because you guys see more people.
The
than
thing
we do.
with that, going back to the topic, it also like matters the people you're around because like fading up, like it's lit because of the people that are around. My job when I was working at that restaurant, it was because of the people that we had a brotherhood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that shit was like fun as fuck.
Like when you create.
Oh, it is.
Like when it was time to work.
And not just that, you're giving people a good time. Like not only are you having a good time, but you're seeing that your service is making that person
happy,
have a good weekend.
Yeah,
so
happy.
Is like, whew.
And that's the biggest. So I thought I was gonna be that guy with my name on the front door at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be a GM of a restaurant or own my own restaurant. I'm still in that. I took a step down. I did that full time. I was a front of house manager for a while.
I can see you owning a restaurant and then being a GM.
Yeah,
I think it's just
like if I'm pissed off, you would be that guy that comes out and you're like, oh,
I try to fix everything. Yeah. I mean, that's me, man. And don't get me wrong. Doing it for so long, you learn. It's kind of like in these scenarios too. You don't need every customer. You don't need the bad customers. But there's this little like notch in your head in the service industry that's hard to turn that. So you try to save every one of them. So then you turn into this person that's just a people pleaser all the time. I think that really, really helps me with my passion in my photography. I'm a people pleaser. I take all those things that I've learned the past 14 years in restaurants, how to take care of people, how to give great customer service, how to sell a product that I know somebody needs. And then I put it into my photography business that I started.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
and
that was
helps.
going to be one of my questions. Like, do you think the service industry has helped you be a better?
Oh man, I
photographer?
think it's molded me. Not. I think so. I tried to sell cars at one time.
Yeah.
I worked at AT&T for a while. I did okay at AT&T. I sucked at selling cars. I think
Because
you have
selling
to have
cars
a.
is such a fucking big
That's
like damn, I'm really putting you in debt for the next
So
5, 6
you have
years,
to have
bubs.
You have to
And
have
that-
some level of
Yeah.
dishonesty to be a car salesman.
Yeah.
and that's another thing too. Salesmen in general, like
I walked out of my first.
Yeah.
I was at David Stanley for like 2 days, and
Yeah,
then
I worked
was
at David Stanley for a little while, and it was
I
hard.
was like, I don't know.
It was tough. I couldn't bring myself to sell somebody something they didn't need
right.
Yeah.
because it was that in my head was I'm not going to sell
And I
you a
would ask them that. I'd be
$60,000
like,
truck.
but do they really? Would they need that?
And then
I
your
don't give a
manager,
fuck.
your sales manager is now they can afford it. They have the credit. They have the
Right,
down payment.
right.
Give it to them.
And
then you go back out and you're like, man, no, because the last time I did that to myself, I fucked myself.
I understand why they do cocaine a lot because that's like a ruthless fucking.
it's
Yeah.
ruthless thing. The car salesman, that name in general is like has a bad rep.
Yeah,
it just has a bad rap.
But there are a lot of good ones.
There's
There are
good ones. It's like any, like
and
the-
and
yeah.
successful good ones.
Yeah,
Shout out to
exactly.
those successful good
But
car
they're-
salesmen because
yeah.
it's hard.
And fuck you to the ones that are bullshit.
Fucking everybody
tell,
doing
them
people dirty.
tell them that little story, Darwin.
Oh God. So
I think
we're,
is it
we're
the
gonna,
one on
we're
you
gonna be
posted?
petty on the
all right,
half
so
court.
motherfuckers don't interrupt. All right. So my brother, has this money saved up and he's excited to get this car, man. So he got this cash ready to go and he's, looking for this car. So he comes to me and I'm like, all right, let's get this car for you. So we start looking and he had 2 cars in mind. One was a Chrysler 300. And I was skeptical. Once we got to the place, the car had a flat tire. So I was already like, how are you gonna,
Yikes.
how are you gonna drive this car, test drive it when there's a flat tire? Keep in mind this is a small dealership. So I was already like, but let's just, cause he was like, my brother was like, I need to try it, this and that. Like, I want to try it, man, before we leave. So I was like, all right, we already here, so let's do it. So we went to the dealership, went to the guy, and he aired up the tires. Like, has this been there since for so long? Blah, blah, blah. So as soon as he turns on the car, it's a mean ass V6. He's like, shit, I want this car. And they didn't give us the customer service we expected. So I didn't want to do it. But I didn't want to seem like the bad guy, like,
For sure.
You didn't want to be the negative Nancy.
I didn't want to be the negative guy. So I was like, are you sure you want to do this? And I told him that, like, right when we were about to get the cash, I'm like, what is your gut telling you? Like, are you having a good feeling about this? Because in my head, I'm like, I don't want to do it.
There's
But
no way, yeah.
I'm just letting him make the decision.
For sure.
So, yeah, man, we end up getting the car. Not
Do that again.
Right. So we end up getting the car, and it was just so many red flags. In less than 24 hours, the car just blew up. Like, fire caught
Yeah, I
out
saw that
under the
picture
hood.
on Facebook.
And it was parked in the driveway. That's just the craziest part. In like less than 24 hours, the car blows up and catches fire under the hood and is totaled. So right now we're gonna take some legal action against this dealership because they really did us dirty on that side. But it's like, man, like all you had to do is just like
Be honest.
be honest, man. Like, and
It's
it's
so
like,
hard for some
It
people, though,
is, and
man.
it's just there was a lot of red flags. They had a shit ton of negative reviews.
So
but
if you're a good salesman and want to be on the Half Court podcast, hit us up. That way
exactly, we can definitely get you in, and you can kind of explain the process and all that good
of
jazz.
just knowing the faults of or like the red flags,
Right,
To
and
know
I-
when it's like
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think as a young person, because my brother was just so blinded by it,
Of course,
he
yeah.
just ignored all the red flags. Like if you're a young person and you really want a car, wait 48 hours, and if you still want,
don't let your like excited
blind you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking-
Yeah.
So-
but think about it on the other side, man. That's a great lesson for him.
exactly.
That was probably one of the best lessons he's ever going to learn in his
and,
life.
And I told him like it
Bro,
happens.
this nigga's car fucking lit on fire. Like,
Yeah.
down to the ashes.
Was that his first
like-
car he ever bought for himself?
a good one. Like
Yeah,
he's
like legit,
like
yeah,
legit.
vehicle, like
Like he was about to
Something that he
it
wanted.
had a pussy magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's and I told him, I was like, it happens, bro. It happens because my first nice car, man, I paid double the amount. It was a $14,000 car, and I
Yeah.
paid with interest and shit.
$28,000. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was just blind. I wanted the car.
Yeah.
I wanted the car. Got
That's
it.
how it works. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like it happens, and it's like we're looking at it at on the positive side, like we're good. Nothing happened as far as like
Yeah,
it
people-
could have been dangerous It
While
coulda-
you were driving,
right?
No, for sure. Thank
but-
God that didn't happen.
So like we're looking at it as on the positive side. So
Man, that
hopefully
sucks.
we can win that battle and justice can be served, you know?
For sure. Yeah.
So
sure.
you said you were doing car sales and then that the shit.
No, it didn't happen, man. I mean, and granted, all this time that I did these other things, I still worked at restaurants. I managed a small loan company for a few years, and I still worked at a restaurant on the weekend. It was that thing so working in restaurants was the reason why I stopped going to college. I made more money, you know. I would go work at a restaurant and, you know, one shift, which is like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 hours. So, and I always worked at night. So I worked the dinner shift. You make more money on the dinner shift. And then I got good at it. And then I started making $200-300 a day. And, you know, as a 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kid, you're in college and you're like, man, fuck this school shit. Like, I played soccer for 2 years. And then when soccer season was over, it was like, man, now I got to go to class. Like
you're sitting in class, like I can make money right now.
During soccer season, bro, I was never in class. I went to a small school in Moore Norman. It's called Randall University now, but it used to be called Hillsdale. And when they did not have a great soccer team. They didn't have a great soccer program years prior to the year I got there. The year I got there, they got 2 new coaches, 2 brothers that were from Kansas, and they took over, and they started recruiting heavy. Javier Hernandez Pollo, he almost went there, but he ended up at MacU. I didn't even play soccer my junior and senior year of high school, and they went to a little tryout, and then they told me about that school. I didn't even know about the school. I went out there, kicked the ball around with those guys. The coaches were on vacation. They were on summer vacation in Kansas. Excuse me. So I practiced with them, and then the captain, who was this like 26-year-old like French dude from Cameroon, like just buff black dude. And he comes up to me. He's like, "You're going to play with us next season, right?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. This is a private school. My dad's not working right now. My dad had tore a tendon in his shoulder and got hurt. Wasn't working for like a year and a half." And so I was like, "I don't think I can afford it." The next day, the coaches called me. And they're like, "Hey, we got this and this and this set up for you. We need you to come back if you really want to come play with us. We need you to come try out again next week while we're here." They did everything for me, dude. I never felt so special in my life.
Damn.
The assistant coach let me stay in his apartment. Man. Like in more, so I didn't have to drive back home. I had to stop.
Why do you think that was? Like you were that good, or you were like
I think it was.
Team,
well, I think it was a matter of like I think they just liked me as a person. I still talk to those guys. I think they liked me as a person. At that age, I was 18, 19 years old. I was pretty good at soccer. I mean, it's the only sport I've ever played. But it's kind of going back to what Darwin was saying about how my passion kind of falls out into things. Like, and no matter what I do, really. When I like something, it's a flaw of mine too. But
you go balls deep.
Man, I just can't stop, dude. Right. Like I going back to photography, like I watched hours of videos. Like I knew I had
almost
to get up.
Obsessed,
dude.
Manner.
It's bad. Like I got 10 tattoos in 6 months when I was 19 years old.
So when you like something, you like something. Like you're like,
yeah. That's why I picked up a camera, because of how much fun I had when I went out and drank almost every night. Because I was going out drinking all the time. And that's what I think even in sports was like, man, this kid, my sophomore year in high school, I weighed like 175. I was obsessed with losing weight and getting faster. My dad made me wear ankle weights to school all day. When practice started, I took them off. I had good grades. I practiced with the ineligible kids who were in trouble and had to work out more. And then I would go to work, and then I would go to the gym after. I lost 35 pounds and never got any faster. And then I gave up on losing weight because I was like, I'm not going to get faster, and that's why I did all this. But I can still play soccer.
So you never got faster.
I don't know how to run. Like my dad used to tell me, haces mucha fuerza cuando corres.
So it's like, you think it's like a genetic thing, maybe?
No, because my dad could run circles around me.
Yeah.
I mean, and my brother can run. Like my sisters can run. But I never knew how. I don't know how to like breathe properly, and like I have bad posture. So I think that was part of it. But so my dad, as a kid, when I played, he was like, "You're weird. You're fat and slow." That's what he would tell me.
It's weird because like my brother has the same height as me.
Your dad would tell you that?
Yeah, he would tell me like, not in a mean way, but he was like, "You're fat and slow, so like you have to." It's just like any like. I don't know enough about other sports.
Why am I on the bench, Dad?
Yeah,
because you're fat and slow, son.
I definitely sucked at soccer, and I worked really, really hard as a kid. Better. Yeah, but that was it. Like,
so that was you, the guy that had to fucking work hard to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I still wasn't as good as a lot of people here in Oklahoma City, obviously.
That don't even try.
But,
That's
yeah,
how
exactly.
I was, bro.
My brother-in-law's that way.
I was like, I had no chance, bro. I fucking they won first place like 2 years.
Yeah,
in
Roosevelt
a row.
was raw when I was
Yeah,
younger.
bro, Dog Pound.
Yeah,
Dog Pound.
I played with Dog Pound when I was younger too. Yeah,
It's weird because like my brother he's the same height as me, and like I used to have the same build as him, but I'm more faster.
Yeah,
I have more athletic. I can jump higher than him
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's like it's kind of weird.
I mean,
Like how the
I don't
fuck
know,
do you
bro,
even?
It's the DNA and genetics and shit. That's just
well,
how
I think
it
it's
is. Like,
I think it's a lot of that, and I think it's also a big part of it that plays in it is like, but it's passion is how much do you like this?
Exactly. Yeah.
How much? Because you could be
because like this motherfucker has a 6-pack year round. He
Yeah.
doesn't even have to work it out. Like,
yeah, he doesn't go into
To this
hibernation.
day,
People
man, I
don't
haven't
do
hit
that.
abs in like a year or so.
and it's still like he'll flex and it looks like this nigga fucking
Yeah.
Works out every day. So
Yeah.
I tell my brother-in-law the same thing, man. He's one of the best soccer players I've ever seen in my life. I think he could have went pro. I think he could have played easily for Energy and OEFC that were here a long time ago and stuff. But he likes to drink, bro. He likes to drink all the time. Like
So,
that's his thing. And like we still play. Shout out to my co-ed team, my indoor co-ed team. It's called With and Without Balls because it's boys and girls.
Oh shit.
But we're in first place right now.
Pretty unique name.
Yeah,
Shit.
we got our last game on Tuesday. But me
Yeah.
and my brother-in-law, like my sister and my brother-in-law, made this team, and I hadn't played for like a year and a half. So we started playing again, and I did it just so I could lose some weight, man, because I'm getting fat again.
right there at the indoor.
The new one on Kelly and Hefner.
Okay.
Yeah, the one on
Yeah.
the way on the north side.
You got to find that balance, and that's what we were talking about because it can get hard when you have life and you got to pay bills, and like it's hard to find that like passion when it comes to like the exercise, staying active. For me, is basketball.
Yep.
You know, for you, is soccer.
It has to be things that you are
enjoy
excited
doing.
for. Yeah, 'cause,
Yeah.
like it's a task at the end of the day. Like if you're at work and then you're like, oh, I gotta just get home and then go do this. So if you're doing shit you don't like, it's like, man,
It's never gonna get done,
That's
yeah.
when you're just like, man,
Especially if you don't have
You
somebody
drag- yeah.
somebody in your ear making you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's cool, bro, because like the passion is really what drives you to become better, and it's like if you're obsessed with it, then that's gonna even make you better, and like you're gonna stand out even more because that's
At
like
what time do you turn that off though?
That's a hard part for me.
that's hard because like
That's where you fucking start going crazy sometimes. If you,
I think you
I
start
had to slow down too on that shit. 'Cause
you
it's
start
like,
going crazy. I run into like, and I think me and you have talked about this over messages a couple times, or I mentioned it, but I get so obsessed about things or like shoots that I want to do or photos that I want to create that I become unmotivated because I don't have the time to go do them, or I don't have the meat, like I don't have the person that I need to go do
right.
it.
I feel like with
That
that,
it turns into like a rut.
task.
That it turns into like days of not doing any photos at all because I can't get this picture that I want to get.
I think one thing I've developed in because I'll have a video idea, and it's like I want it now.
Yeah.
And I want it right. You know,
For
and
sure.
I've learned to like the
patient.
right time.
It's gonna come.
The moment, right time is gonna come. So I've learned to not rush that because then you start losing your shit, and that distracts you from the other
you
shit.
start putting
Right.
out
But-
average bullshit out.
Yep, just whatever you can because that's all you got in the reel.
Exactly. So I think with that, still having that passion is good because it's like that's what drives people like your Joe Rogan's, that he does comedy, he commentates in the UFC, has the best podcast because he's constantly like
He
he
loves
loves
what
perfecting
the
his
fuck he
craft.
does.
Right.
Your Steve Jobs, your Bill Gates,
Yeah.
your Bezos, and like all these people are just obsessed
with the things that they did.
It
Yes,
doesn't matter like
yeah.
how much money they have or how
Exactly,
much they're
exactly.
just, like if anything, money is just like the tool. So when you do have the money, you can be able to put shit together. So like
Right.
instead of being like, oh, who wants to model for this?
Hey,
Like,
I'm gonna pay
I
you,
got
come model.
$500 for the baddest bitch.
Yeah, no, for sure, I agree. I mean, and it's not if financial gain obviously is a big part of it because you need money to live, and I have a wife and a 10-year-old daughter, so for me, it's a big part of it. It's the quality of life, which a lot of people talk about when you're talking about a new job or taking a promotion or you know making more money. You got to have that balance of quality of life and financial gain. That's why I still work at a restaurant because I'm doing well with my business that I've started on my own. It's just me, you know, with the exception of every now and then I'll grab somebody from the city to help or somebody else that knows video or something else that I don't know that can do something that I can't do. I still work at a restaurant so I don't burn myself out with my photography.
Yeah.
So that I can go to work every, 40 hours a week. That's part-time for me because I used to work 65 hours a week at a restaurant. And I have that extra 25 hours that I didn't used to have. Still able to pay all my bills, my mortgage, my wife's car, all the utilities. make sure my kid's taken care of, and then I get to go out and shoot and still make money doing shoots.
Man.
Some months I get stressed out because I got to rely on my photography to help kind of back me up on the rest of my bills or my mortgage or whatever. But it's so nice to just be like, oh, I get to go do this shoot and not have to worry about, damn, I only charge them this much and not this much, and I'm doing this much work.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, sweet, I get to go do this and I'm going to get paid for it. And then in the front of my head is the fact that I get to go do something I love as a job. And in the back of my head is, oh, I might make, a few extra $100 bucks.
I think it's like we've shot a couple of stuff. You shot a couple of stuff for me, and it's been it's fun, bro. Working with you is so fun because it's like you can just see that like it's going to be quality shit.
Like
it's
he's not
exciting,
just there like boom boom, come on, let's go.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
Nah, let's get it.
He'll come up like, let's go over here, bro. Let's do this. Like, and it's like, that shit is like valuable as fuck. And it's like, bro, there was a certain point where you were like nonstop. I don't remember when was it, but it was like content after content after picture after picture. And like, I was like, bro, this like, he was on one, bro.
Crazy.
Like every time I would like refresh my Instagram page, and boom, there was Dillon with the content, man.
Man, I'm trying to get back to that consistency. Consistency is key, man.
And that's the hardest part, right? So I think I
fell off a little bit, but I'm still consistent. I'm not as consistent as I was at that time. I know what time you're talking about. I think it was like. Was it
like maybe during COVID, pre-COVID or some shit?
No, it was right at the beginning of COVID when everything closed down.
Yeah.
I had so much time on my hands. And then I got help from Papa Trump for a little bit. He gave me some unemployment.
Yeah.
So I wasn't stressing about bills. I was just like, all right, let's do this.
Crazy.
But yeah, that is.
Damn, bro,
hold up. Going back to the thought that you were saying like about the whole like you still have a job and then Dame Dash, like he kind of made it click for me. He was like, you got to have something that lets your art breathe. So you're not always rushing it.
Yeah,
so you got to have something that pays the bills and then that way you don't got to rush the art.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, the thing with like in my household right now is my wife only works Saturday and Sunday mornings because of COVID, because my daughter's not in school. She used to work Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
See, and that was another thing. Is like, fuck. Like,
so we have 3.5 days of less of income that we're used to having at home. Fortunately, my wife's really, really good with money. She's a saver and she's great.
You're the impulsive one.
Man.
You're like,
I spent $50.
This new lens came out.
No, I spent
cart.
$50 a week at 7-Eleven, man.
For real,
that's terrible, bro.
That's what I was saying.
So is it like energy drinks and shit like that?
Yeah, it's chips, energy drinks, burritos. Bro, the store on 59th and I-35, that truck stop, they got like barbecue sandwiches at like 10 in the morning.
Every time I come out, I end up giving the bum fucking $2.
Exactly, man. And it's just like, so growing up, my dad always had this saying of like, hey, we don't need your help to pay bills. You work full time, like buy yourself a nice car so you can pay it off before you get married. Buy nice shoes, buy nice clothes, like buy those things that you want. And I think I screwed up. I didn't do that stuff. I spent my money on going out and drinking and stupid shit.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I have this mentality of like, man, I work every fucking day. I have an extra few $100s. I'm spending it on what I want to spend it.
Yeah.
And my wife, she grew up in Mexico in Juarez. And so coming here, she's very much so like, no, we didn't have a whole lot there. Mm-hmm. So I need to save as much as I can so I can have whatever I want whenever I want it.
Go back type shit.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for her, dude, like we wouldn't have a decent house. We wouldn't have nice vehicles. Like I would just have like shit that got me from A to B.
You would be in an apartment with a fucking TV.
Exactly,
and your
man.
cameras.
Exactly. My house would barely be furnished. I'd probably have a futon and a chair in my living room. And like thanks to her, like she puts me in check for sure. Like I think everybody needs that person, whoever it is.
That balances you out.
Yeah, man, because I'm bad, man. Like
I'm bad too.
I give her as much as I can. Shit. I keep a little bit for myself just in case I need it.
As much as I'll preach like cut down on the bills, but when it comes to like buying fun shit, I'm a little impulsive. Hard. And I was telling my coworker the other day, I was like, man, I get this high from buying from Amazon. I don't know if it's just because of when I fucking open the box.
Bro, that's an addiction. That's
it is.
People are in debt
for sure.
Shit.
Well, at least I buy the little shit.
Bro, I'm not saying you. I'm saying like America.
In general.
Okay, yeah. But buying is an addiction. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Bro, I go to the camera store knowing I ain't got no damn money in my pocket just to see, man, maybe I can afford this.
And then you go like you're saying you're just gonna look, but then sometimes you end up buying something.
Or like I said, I go with no money in my pocket and I go in there and I'm like, man, I got my credit card on me. And then I'm like, no, never mind. And I leave. They know me by name, bro. All of them at Bedford's. It's bad.
Dillon,
it's so bad.
Dillon, what is he gonna buy?
It's so bad, dude. Or I'll go in there and I'm like, I was just in the area. I'm going to kill some time. And sometimes that's the case. I go in there or like, I go in there and see about some prints that I want to get printed off so I can hang them up.
Do they rent lenses?
They rent lenses. Okay. They do like buybacks. And so they'll buy lenses off of you if you want to get new ones. And so like they have great programs, but
they're local too. So
it is. Yeah. And
gotta support.
Yeah. Maria and Jennifer, man, they help me all the time. I think Maria is one of the managers. She's an older, shorter lady. Yeah. The white hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's a Hispanic lady.
Yeah, I think that's I was like, man, it's been like 2 weeks since I've ordered something from Amazon, so I started looking and shit because I have a list of shit I want, and even buying the smallest thing is just I don't know. I get this high.
Spend $10 and you get super excited.
That Amazon box, and I'm like opening it up and it's
I'm the same
crazy.
way, man. And I think that's probably a problem big time in the creator like world.
That's what it is. It's like, not buying dumb shit.
Yeah, it's like stuff. I can use this, and it's like I'll probably only use this like 3 times a year.
Like I bought some soundproof shit.
Yeah.
Like soundproof phones for the house because like the living room is where I have my office space, but it's echoey as hell. So if I wanted to do a video there, it sounds terrible.
Well, and if you can afford it, those are things that you need, man. Those are things that you need.
Those are tools.
I still get a high though.
But my issue is like I got lights at home, but I see new lights and I want new lights, or I got backdrops at home that I could use easily for anything I need.
Right, I think the mindset with that, bro, is like
I don't need it.
Work with what you got.
Yeah,
that's what
I don't need it.
I was telling you.
I'm big about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because I was telling him like I seen the camera, I'm like, damn, that motherfucker's bad, and I was like, man, I wanted to get the A7S III, and then I was like, you know what? Instead of spending that money on that camera, work with what I got, and if anything, I'll invest it in the lens. Yeah, because it's not about like the body; it's more the lens is more important. Yeah. The lens is what's going to give you the quality.
I started on a $200 camera from the pawn shop, man, with the kit lens.
Yeah,
and I got some decent. I think some of those pictures are on my Instagram at the very, very beginning of my Instagram page.
There you go.
And I started with a kit lens. It was like a 18 to 55, like 4.5 f-stop.
Yeah. That's my mentality, bro. It's work with what you got.
They were good. Like I got good images, and then I was like, back to YouTube, watching YouTube, learning shit, and then it was man, I need some prime lenses. Man, I need some portrait lenses. And I went and spent money with that. I bought lenses that are great on my now mirrorless camera for like a $200 crop sensor.
What sets a good photographer apart from a great photographer?
Man, I know we use this word a lot, but I think the passion obviously sets any good person apart from a great person. I think
like technically, like not.
I mean, technically, it sucks because.
Well, you're talking about like on the technical side.
Of course, passion is the thing. But
yeah, for sure. But I think technically, man, like the hardest thing to learn is vision. Yeah, of course. Like if you have the eye, you have the eye. Like if you could take a good photo,
I can probably. If I have a better eye than Dillon, I can probably like
take a better photo with your
my
phone
because I have the eye and the vision and shit.
Yeah. So like the most technical, I think what sets great photographers apart, and this is gonna sound dumb, but I think lighting, dude. Like lighting is one of the hardest things to learn in any video and photography. Like if you have bad light, you have a bad photo.
A lot of creators stress that a lot. Like if anything, invest on some good light and focus more on that.
Than composition or
I think that's
else.
what makes this podcast even a little better because
the lighting is great. Yeah.
When you walk in, you're like, oh, I can take a selfie in this bitch.
Yeah, it's nice, even bright light.
Yeah. Again, shout out to Andrew Does Hair for the fucking tutorial on the lighting.
Nice.
Exactly. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
What would you say, bro?
I think that's a big part of it. I think you can have the best composition in a photo. You can have the style that you were looking for and the location. But if you have bad light and I take a picture outside in the middle of the street with good light, the photo's going to look better.
Right.
You're going to be a better photographer.
For lighting?
I think that's the biggest one for me. Man, no. I don't think – I have a hard time saying it, but there's a fine line, but I don't think gear makes you a better photographer.
I agree with that.
I don't think your equipment – you need the tools.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have the exact same tools. I can hang up posters on a wall and not have to have a hammer as long as I have a tool that does the same thing.
Yeah.
See? So I mean that's just
I like that.
But I do think
Eventually, you can upgrade and you'll need it. You know, you'll need
And
the...
it'll make them nicer. And
Right.
You can,
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily make them greater photos.
That's what,
I think.
I like that. I like that. What'd you say?
You don't need a hammer to hang up a poster as long as you have a tool that does the same thing.
For real.
Yeah.
No, I like that. And that's what...
You need a camera and a lens. And
That's
whether that's your iPhone, like, I mean, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit because that new iPhone 12 Pro, man.
Fuck.
With that
And
LiDAR
then they
scanner.
have those little attachments now that you can put like lenses.
Oh, you can
on
put
your phone.
wider lenses and
But I
telephoto
think
lenses.
the camera itself,
On the iPhone Pro, on the
they
iPhone 12 is
they're going
nuts.
ham, bro. They have Pro RAW now on the iPhone Pro.
They have
and
LiDAR scanning.
LiDAR scanning, and then Adobe Vision. So that shit is like fucking raw for video. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm gonna geek out on YouTube a little bit. If you want to see what kind of photos and videos you can get on that phone, there's Peter McKinnon on YouTube.
yeah, I seen that one.
And
I just got a new phone, so I'm not looking at none of that shit.
See, and that's what I'm trying to do, bro. Because I got the 11.
I'm waiting.
I got the 11, and
I went to an Android not too long ago, and I'm ready to go back.
Yeah, bro, you made a mistake. I hate that green bubble.
I'm
playing with you, bro.
It's gotta be
I'm just
blue.
being extra and shit.
Nah, it's all good.
But I think with this kind of thing, with the creative shit, bro, like, you can go and like drain your bank account within like this. Because it's like there's always, and whether it's a small light or big light or lens or tripod, everything is expensive in this thing, bro. Everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just got to get
yeah,
in
and then you buy cheap shit and then you need to replace it in months.
So you got to be like in that mentality of like, work with what you got. So,
I mean, you can go on Instagram and you can see self-portraits of like great photographers. And they're putting their camera on a stack of books.
Right.
So, like, who the hell needs a tripod, you know?
Or even, like, using phones, bro. I've seen videos.
Of course, dude.
Like, a lot of crazy shit with the
and
phones.
We're in a generation, we're in an era where I know you guys have talked about it a lot, and I've heard it a lot in other places. This is the time now to learn something that you don't know, something that you've always wanted to do.
You got time.
Whether it's decorating cakes, doing hair, doing nails, making videos, taking photos. Now's the time to do it. The only problem is we're in a generation that everybody's so tech savvy that you're going to have a lot of people thinking that they're great creators. Yeah, because they know how to use these tools. They know how to use these cameras or whatever it is. But I mean, I'm a firm believer in, like, it sucks because I see a lot of photographers who are like, they take a great photo at this awesome location, and then there's a forum underneath it or comments underneath it of, hey, where's that at? Oh, I'm not going to tell you, it's at an undisclosed location. And I'm a big believer in, like, I'll tell you where I took this picture. If you go get a better picture than me at it, I'd light a fire under my ass that I need to go back and get a better picture than you did.
Exactly.
I gave you my location and you made me look stupid. I got to go back and get a better one. And it's friendly competition, man. It's, I'm going to comment. I'm going to like that picture. I'm going to comment some fire emojis. Maybe share it and save it.
I'm going to beat it.
But then I'm going to find somebody to go out with me to that spot, and I'm going to try to take a better picture. Yeah, man. It drives me nuts that there are still people in the world they love something so much, but are not willing to work harder than the next person that can do it better than them to get better at it.
Yeah, the creative shit, bro. It's a fun thing. It's again, it fuels me to take my shit to the next level, and it's like in any way I can help others too. I think that's a big win.
Man, and it's karma, bro. I don't care who doesn't believe in karma, man. Even if it's just for yourself.
In a row that the karma comes around.
Yeah. Even if it's just in yourself. Yeah. Even if it's just in yourself, man. Like if I can bless somebody with some free game on something, it's gonna come back eventually. Somebody's gonna see that in me and gonna give me some free game one day.
To be able to share knowledge.
Dude, I don't understand how it's hard to see people who they're so miserable or negative in their life that don't realize that if you're positive to somebody else, it stays inside of you. Mm-hmm. You become positive.
Why do you think there's like?
I think people are just miserable, bro. In general, I think people are like envy is a big one. They can't see other people doing better than them,
and they're so miserable. But that, like, a lot of, especially like lately, I've been seeing that on Snapchat. So like, y'all need to stop beefing with your imaginary like enemies. Like, y'all need to stop it.
Not
like,
everybody is out to get you.
Like, they're beefing with their imaginary enemies, like people on Snapchat. Like, y'all need to stop, man. Like, chill out.
These niggas ain't ready.
Right.
These niggas ain't ready for this.
Right.
Like, chill out, you know. Find more positivity, man.
Oh, man, it makes the world go around, man.
Exactly, man.
Don't nobody want to be around negative-ass people.
Exactly.
And if they are, it's just because, I mean, you got money or they're fake friends. They're there first. They're not there for the right reasons.
Nah, man. A lot of people are really around just to watch you, to wait to see when you fail or when you go down, or if you're at the top or you're climbing to the top.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a big thing, man. Is fuck them, like you know. Yeah. You keep climbing. Don't look down at that motherfucker watching you from behind.
That's what I've and I always encourage people, like, if you haven't watched Gary Vee, watch him. Absorb as much information as you can.
For sure, dude.
Thanks to him, that I was able to develop that mentality even more of like, do the shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Do it. Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about this. Do it.
Man, if you want to do something just because you want to do it, that's the only excuse you need to do it.
Right.
You don't have to have any other motives to go do something.
Or explanation.
Yeah, of course, man. If I want to wear pink shorts and a bright blue shirt because I want to, man, fuck whatever that dude outside thinks when I walk outside. Like,
it's just
who cares, man? It's
if you're patient and you're enjoying the journey, then like it's gonna eventually
along with enjoying it, man. It's do this shit for yourself, not for whatever anybody else is thinking about you.
I think going back to the whole passion thing, like if your day is filled up with so many things that you're passionate about, you're not gonna have time to sit there and like see what he's doing or what she's doing. As to where like the people that are doing that probably haven't found their passion, and then they have too much time on their hands to fucking be able to do that, you know?
Yeah,
so if you're a hater, find your passion.
Yeah, stop hating.
100%. Even if you're not a hater, man, and you haven't found your passion yet, dude, I commend.
But I mean, I could deal with a person that hasn't found their passion and they're still like...
They're good people,
you know what I'm saying? But if you're a fucking dick, like...
Yeah, go figure something out.
Yeah,
go sit in the corner and figure out what you've done.
Let me check AV real quick. AV, we're what? How's the whole... No alcohol, no social media.
3 weeks.
3 weeks in?
Yeah, good job, man.
God damn, bro.
Good job.
So what have you learned out of all this? Because it's 3 weeks, bro. It gave you time to like...
That you don't need it.
I've lost like 10 pounds.
Hell yeah.
I've been...
what about the mental side?
Oh, I've been feeling great, man. I have been smoking a lot of weed. I'm not going to lie. But
the weed, I feel like... I don't know. I if it helps you, like... Think,
some medicine.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do like... And that's what I was like...
I'm not popping no fucking anxiety
right, and then weed has
like
a bad reputation to certain people because they think they're bums, they're not doing shit. But like that's what I'm saying. Like I have mad respect because you do a lot of shit.
Oh hell
like
yeah.
That's like your zone shit. You know, like all right, let me smoke a blunt before I do this, and you fucking kill it. Whatever the hell you do, yeah.
Because I think as I'm smoking, I'm thinking like right now when we were gonna do this podcast, I'm smoking and I'm thinking, okay, what am I gonna ask? What am I? So I'm not just smoking and then
just to smoke,
right? So like he if he stays
just
doing
put
shit,
it in your zone,
or like even I'll fucking smoke before I go work out, and then
right.
Next thing you know, I'm already done. Like, oh shit, you know.
No, it's
time to smoke again.
It's a good, bro. It's a good little streak, bro. You see, like back in the day, you never thought you can go 3 weeks without drinking, and look at you. When you did the challenge,
nah, that's good.
That shit was like you did it for 11 days, and then after that, you were like, "Fuck, I can't do it. I had to fucking drink and this."
So
and that.
you doubled your record.
Now
already.
you doubled the record. You're going there.
Sure. And the thing is, where I was fucking up is that I was saying. I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to stop, bro. Or I'm trying.
And then you were going and kicking it with people who were drinking.
You know? Like I'm saying, like I'm
trying because it makes you feel better. Like I'm trying.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to
Instead
stop,
of
bro.
like,
That's to where right now I'm just like
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I'm not drinking right now. I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
So
you gotta tell yourself first. You gotta tell yourself first for sure what you're gonna do.
I think the important part of all of it was the mental side of it because that shit can
Oh yeah, man! Alcohol is just fucking. If you really sit there and look at it, we're drinking. Oh, that's another thing I've done is I try to educate myself so that the times where I'm like, I kind of want to drink or I kind of want to, I'll just look up a video on like other people that are sober. Like I've been watching a lot of like Steve-O from Jackass.
Oh yeah,
man, because bro, he was lost.
He was gone.
Yeah,
he was huffing like fucking.
Yeah, paint everything. He was doing some
crazy shit.
So I'll do that. I'll watch people that are staying sober and why they're staying sober, and then that kind of reminds me like
gives you some motivation.
Exactly. I think the mental side, like right now I feel like I'm more stable because we've talked about it, as far as mental and like the fucking roller coaster that this whole situation has been. My relationship went through a fucking loop too, so it was like it had its hiccups and shit, and I felt like drained and shit. Like I feel like, damn, man, I'm doing too much.
It gets like that, man.
Break.
Yeah,
it gets like that, right? So it's like, thankfully.
Another thing, there's this book by Robert Peterson. It's called The 12 Rules of Life. So listening, bro, Robert Peterson is a fucking like. If I was amazed by Gary Vee, that motherfucker right there.
Oh yeah, it's another level of
Gary Vee on crack type shit.
No. Because he actually studies the psychic of like
the psychologic.
Why we think like this, why we're doing this, why we're doing that, why. So that shit makes you real. When I was listening to it, it's almost like he was talking to me, like Like you're like, it's fucking nuts, bro. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Robert Peterson because I'm
gonna have to listen to it.
He makes it clear as to why, like the whole thing. That reminded me when you were saying like you had problems, relationship problems, you had problems here, problems there. Yeah. So like one of the ways that he was talking about handling problems is like picking a time out of the day to where you sit there and problem solve, which can be kind of weird to think about, but if it does you no good to sit there and overwhelm yourself with
and then be like,
so like it's better to just take some time to be like, okay, these are all my fucking problems.
Yeah, let's deal with them one at a time
for sure, and pick the ones that you know you can solve, and the other ones that you can't, man.
Because I think what a lot of people do is they have problems and then they'll go to work and then they're at work.
They still have those problems.
Or they go fucking drink and do drugs and shit. And it's like,
so it's like no,
you got to get to those problems. You got to. So I think
it's almost like having a board and like, okay, what am I gonna do about this and what So
it's like taking the trash out. You got to eventually take it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you might as well do it whenever you got time to do it. Don't leave that motherfucker in the trash bin when you go to work.
Exactly. I think
you got to take it out at 12 at night before you go to sleep. Now
the whole situation taught me to kind of handle situations better. So I was able to, handle those problems, solve them, and be at a better state mentally. Because I think that was really was getting to me.
Going into that too, man, like draining yourself. I do it a lot, man. Working, 2 jobs, working a full-time job and then doing my own thing on the side. I know you can relate to that, but I think about it a lot too. And I saw something yesterday on social media, actually. I can't remember who posted it. It was about procrastinating, and it was about not feeling bad about procrastinating when you're doing it for yourself. So if you need to procrastinate so that you can come back stronger,
right, when
you're not drained, then it's okay to do that.
Yeah,
it's not bad. And I have a hard time doing that too, because then I start talking about how I'm unmotivated and I'm in a rut, and
to me,
not realizing that, okay, cool, I didn't post anything for 3 days on social media,
but you're preparing yourself.
I feel good today, and I'm gonna go get this image, and I'm gonna go do this shoot, and then I'm gonna have some social media to post. It's gonna look even better than if I would have pushed it.
Exactly, and that's what that's one thing I like about Joseph, that he said, I'm not posting as constantly as I would like to be, but I'm giving you guys quality. Yeah. So
I love that about him.
And that's the same thing with, like, right now I've started vlogging again, and I said I was going to try to do one every week. Yeah. I'm saying trying, because I'm not going to go the extra mile. If there's not a good day that I can vlog, I'm not going to do it. Right. And I'm not going to post that week.
Right.
I'm not. Yeah. I want to give you guys good quality.
There's a fine line between, I don't know who says it. I know Casey Neistat's one that's like, just make videos. It doesn't matter how quality they are or what they are. Just tell a story and post it.
Exactly.
Same thing with Gary Vee. He's a firm believer on post, like post content all the time. There's a fine line, I think, when you get.
But content that makes sense. Yeah, just not post. Exactly. It's like,
there's a fine line of just posting content and then posting content, like you said, that has to have some kind of quality. Because if I'm on your page and everything is just shit for the rest of the time, then I might not unfollow you because you're my boy and I like you.
Yeah.
But I'll look at it and I'll be like, man, come on, Darwin. Yeah, you're better than this, bro.
I think that's, because today
I think you need those people in your life to tell you, like, hey, you're good, bro. What are you doing? This is not you. This is not your content. This is not your quality.
That's why I'm fueled by it, because that's why I was like, Dillon, come on time or a little bit late, because I'm going the extra mile. I'm putting the camera here, putting it, getting out of the car and taking drone shots, and like, I'm going the extra mile because it's something that I'm not, like, it doesn't feel like I'm dragging. I like it. I get to try. It's like getting more cinematic, and it fuels me. So it's like, today I was like, man, we got a podcast and we got a shoot. I'm like, damn, I'm excited for this shit.
Oh,
and
man,
I'm
I love my days off whenever I have stuff lined up like this.
Exactly. Like,
and it's going back to Joseph, man, it's crazy to think, like, I mean, I was watching the podcast long before that. I think I was pretty close to watching it from the very beginning. I might have missed a few episodes at the beginning, but he was one of my big inspirations when I started, because he's been doing it for
Spider-Man
several years.
one, bro. I watched that whole video.
I just changed my wallpaper to my daughter, but I had that wallpaper on my phone, bro.
He killed that shot. I can and me as a creator, I know the amount of work that went behind doing that, putting that thing together. So I appreciate that shit. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker killed that shit.
Oh yeah,
and it's like,
well, and it's crazy. I know we talked about this, and I even talked to him about it previously, but I found him on other YouTubers' page channels, like these guys from Australia. Mm-hmm. I found him on their channel. Like I was watching their street photography and car photography, and I saw him, and he was rocking this Thunder hat, and I was like, nah.
That's when you that's how I discovered him, because of the Thunder hat. Like he got recommended on my feed, which was crazy, and then the Thunder hat was like, well, don't tell me.
I went on to check his YouTube channel, and I subscribed, and then I saw he did more video stuff, and I was like, this is dope. And that was a small time when I was like, man, I really need to get better at video, or even just trying to make highlight videos for my shoots or fucking TikToks or something.
I feel like cause him and Peter McKinney, they do both.
Yeah,
but I feel like everybody, you got to find out if you can do both and if you like doing both. Cause me, I like doing more of the video side.
So my thing, but you can do photography.
I can do photography, but it's not my.
I like the photo side more, but I don't know if I can do video because I haven't given myself that shot.
Right, because you're probably overwhelmed with
the editing process just scares me. Because I'm not scared to admit that. I'm just a big puss when it comes to that.
He
editing
who
process.
says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
Fair enough.
It's like with me, that if I wanted to take my skills to the next level, I need to learn the After Effects, which is like the visual, craziness.
You follow
but it's
Peter Lindgren?
Yeah.
Did you see his he posted a short? I think it was on Instagram, but he did like a gun,
has he posted? Because he said he.
No, did you see that story?
Yeah.
Where he did the After Effects on the gun.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's crazy the difference, bro. Yeah, and just stuff like that.
Exactly. So I think that's another thing, but I think that will come at its time, because right now I'm good with the kind of content I'm using, the software of Premiere Pro. It's working.
Grow at your own pace, man.
Right, exactly. I'm not going to force shit.
I followed him, man. Joseph Garcia, Keyboard King, and he inspired me, dude. For photos, he inspired me, and then I watched that dude make a whole cinematic video on his fucking Snapchat.
That was ridiculous.
That was so stupid, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great, but it's stupid how you see these people who have that talent, who have that. And that's something that in you guys, I see that in you guys, obviously. I watch you guys' videos and I'm like, man, I want to make videos. It looks fun. And we made that little YouTube, that video with the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
And that was dope, dude. I enjoyed not only being a part of the video, but taking the photos and then watching the process of making that video.
It's so different.
So I got to see the whole process.
Because you saw it, and then you saw it come to life. And
what I like to see is when you do it, even when I did music videos, there was a couple times when I would take Dave with me.
Yeah.
And it was his first few shoots, but I knew he had it. Like y'all said, he had the vision and it didn't matter what camera he had the fucking vision.
Oh, he was going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun seeing music videos. First we would drop the pictures and then we would drop the music video. So it's first you get to see the image.
It's a dopamine, bro. That
and then if you drop it right for the followers, it's oh shit, badass pictures, and then
and then they see that video,
another video,
and they're like, damn, these are the pictures to that video.
And then after that, they're behind the scenes, so they get to see how we did all this shit. It's cool, man.
Yeah. It's definitely a dopamine, man. For me, it's a big, going back to what we were talking about earlier, in the service industry. I get that, dude. I go to work and I am that annoying coworker at work. I walk
SpongeBob.
I walk in and I'm like, you guys ready to make $1 million? And they just look at me and I'm like, say yes, motherfuckers. We all want to make $1 million.
Have that positive attitude. And
speaking shit into existence, dude. I might not ever make $1 million at work one day, but eventually, I hope to be able to say one day, man, I'm doing the shit that I love, and I made $1 million this year. And that's not the goal. The goal is to be happy and be able to provide for my family, and that's it. That's all I want.
Put yourself in that position.
Why not set goals like that? I think that's where people are fucked up. We set small goals, so we reach those goals, and then we're like, oh, what's next?
Right. I think you have to set small goals, but I think you have to be proactive in setting the next goal after that.
Because then it's not exciting.
It makes no sense to say, I want to make $100,000 this year, and then not say, and then I want to make $150 the year after. that doesn't make any sense. Because then you're like, well, what the fuck am I going to do in 2022 when I made my 100,000?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just going to quit working.
Set a goal.
I'm done. Yeah, like I
I
give up on everything else. And that's for me is like my short-term goal is to be able to be a full-time photographer, to do my own thing and not have to work for somebody else.
So, like, do you think that you would just be able to let go of the service industry like that?
I don't know, man. I think if I can,
the itch, bro. It's like,
yeah, I think if I can, so like I thought about this a lot and I still think about it all the time. I think if I can put myself in a position where I can be a full-time creator, a full-time photographer. I made some small moves recently, obviously with my job change and hours change and position change, that I'm on that path. Hopefully, that's what I'm working for. You know, it's not anything like contract official or anything like that, but like I posted some pictures of some big ass dogs on my page the other day. That's a big ass kennel. Like they have kennels all over Oklahoma. And like I'm their official photographer. Dope. Like everybody in their kennel will come to me for photos.
So that's already a big.
And like this is a dude that I met one day at the park at Scissortail Park. He gave me his card because I have a pocket bully at home. I was walking her and he's got a extra large bully. My dog's 8 inches off the ground and his dog weighs 165 pounds. Shit. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I tell him I'm sorry. My dog's real vocal because she thinks she's big. And he looks at me and he looks at his dog and he's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I know your dog's not going to hurt her. You obviously have him well trained, but like, she's vocal. My dog sat on her ass and just let that big ass dog sniff all over her. She didn't bark. She didn't whelp. She didn't make no noise. Yeah. He goes, see, I told you, it's a big ass dog. She's not going to do nothing to him. And I was like, all right, cool. So he handed me his card. I followed him on Instagram. He followed me back. And like almost immediately was like, yo, your work is dope. Like, you should if you're down, like, let's collab. You know, he threw me a hoodie, a shirt. And like got some models to come out. So I got some dope Instagram content. And then it was just a collab. It was just hey, let's get to know each other, whatever. As soon as I was done with the shoot, I'm real impatient. I know you know this, but as soon as I get home, man, I pull those photos and I start editing them.
That's it, that excitement. Like, and we were talking about it.
Like it gets like if you just leave them in the vault, like you're not that excited for it no more.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun. Like, and I get like that, but for the most part, I'm super impatient. Like, I pull them, I call them, I go through them.
And and then
I start messing with them.
Time, you're like,
yeah, and then I find that edit, and then I'm like, all right, let's get this done. And then I start working, and he hit me up immediately. He was like, you know, we need to talk about some official stuff. You know, like we need a photographer. I got a lot of dogs. I got a lot of people. I got a lot of people buying dogs off me.
So right there was an opportunity.
And I told him, I was like, I'm down. I gave him, you know, I told him what my prices were. He threw me, like a little negotiation and was like, how about this for less photos? Give us a little discount. We all come to you. And I'm like, cool, that works for me.
Yeah.
And then he messaged me back and goes, you're good at what you do. I really want to see you do this full time. Somebody who doesn't even know me, bro.
Yeah, bro, because they sense that. You know what I'm saying?
And and for me, that's that. You know, my wife, dude, she's my support. She's my backup. She's my everything. She gets mad at me because of how much I charge for my photo sessions, and she's like, "Yo," like she'll send me links on Facebook and Instagram and websites, and like, these people's pictures suck and they're charging twice as much as you. What are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, they're probably not having near as much fucking fun as I am out there. Yeah. I'm like, it's hard to charge people more money when you're having this much fun doing something.
And I mean, the thing is too, is that you got to look at the market thing too. Like, there's a lot of times where, I mean, Oklahoma, man, we're building, so it's
one of my things is the time that I've been doing it.
Yeah,
if somebody comes up to me and goes, hey, your pictures are dope. How much do you charge? And I say, X amount. And then they're like, how long have you been doing this? And I'm like, I've been taking pictures for a few years, but
I think talent
I did
talks.
it as a business. I think it talks too, but I think if there's somebody who has a equally or almost as equally good portfolio or photos, and they can say, I've been doing this for 10 years, I think that makes a big ass difference. I think somebody looks and goes, I trust this guy because he knows the ins and outs more than this kid who's been doing it for 2 years.
I don't know.
Is that when my dad pulls up to a work site, like,
I've been doing this for how long? Yeah,
30 years, and then there might be a youngin that pulls up and he's just as good as my dad, but that person's gonna look at my dad and be like, yeah, this motherfucker's been in business 30 years, so that's for a reason. This young buck is.
Well, I think I'm just looking at it more as a video aspect. I'm looking more at it like, you're hiring me because you like my work. You like what I offer as far as style when it comes to videos and stuff. I'm probably just comparing it on the video side, because there might be somebody that's 10 years in the game and I can be maybe 3, right? But my work is why they hiring me, my style, what I bring to the table, you know? So it's
I agree that talent, I mean, you can be in the league for 10 years, and if this kid who's 1 year in is better than you, he's better than you.
Right, exactly.
I think experience is a big factor. And it's just my personal opinion and it could be me being self-conscious. It could be me going, I can't reach out to this big-ass business to do headshots for them because there's probably 10 other photographers who've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
Who they're going to trust a hell of a lot more than me.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy, bro, because there is so many, or not so many, but there is quite a few people that just, even though they know that you're, like, I had this experience with my attorney, like, I'm like, I can do your pictures, but she's like, man, I already have a guy that I've been working with for years.
They're loyal to these
So
people.
she's like, I couldn't do that to him. You know, I couldn't just fucking.
That happened to me with a real estate company.
I know I could do way better. You know what I'm saying? But she's just like, and I
build a relationship because he probably
respectable. It's respectable. I'm like, I'm not gonna, you know.
Maybe that photographer build that relationship with her to the point where, like,
that's
you know,
exactly what it was.
Yeah. So,
well, and that's part of networking. You have to be that person. That's why I am the way I am with everybody. You know, that's why I'm like when I met both of you guys previously, but like when I initially met you, it was just like, bro, I just want to network. Like, I just want to go out and kick it and vibe and like take some photos and see what's up. Because,
and then find ways where we can help each other out. And it's like,
and unfortunately, I haven't really sent you any work, but you know, you've been
you good, bro.
You've been kind enough to send me.
Because at the end of the day, bro, when I'll be like, hey, Dillon, I got this shoot. You do it without any hesitation. So I see that. That to me is value. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like today, we're going to do one after this podcast. So it's like, that to me is value. But anytime there's work, I'm going to send it your way.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Because I know.
And I know that's what comes from networking correctly.
Exactly.
From, you know, from being loyal. I know you might know other photographers that could even probably do these things better than me. And I know most of the time I'm the first person you think about.
No, you're the first one.
So I'm like,
I know there's photographers out there. I know a couple. I got a buddy that used to work with me, and he was like, man, I want to do the photography shit. And like, I was like, man, go for it, bro.
Yeah,
like if there's something that's passionate, like, and he's good too. Yeah. But I've been able to work with you more, and it's all about relationships, right?
Exactly.
So we've been able to connect, and it's like the first.
You're like an open-minded person. That's
exactly.
one of the biggest thing that like, because I feel like a lot of people that are content creators and shit like that get ahead of themselves. Like it's like Jay Paulo, I love that motherfucker. The guy that did all of our logos. I had that early on when I was like doing a lot of videos, and I was kind of getting not a hot head, but it was just kind of like fuck that. I'm not working with that nigga. I don't, whatever. I was just getting. And he was
you're
like,
young, and
like he took me aside one day and was like, bro, just remember that, like, you're just a fucking camera guy. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can pick up a camera, and he kind of humbled me down. You know, he was like,
you need that.
He was like, at the end of the day, just remember that, bro. You're just a fucking camera guy. You're not. You know,
you're here to give a service.
You're booked as fuck, and you're telling people like, fuck that, I'm not working with you. Shit could go bad, and you're back to where you're not getting booked at all.
And that's what it goes back to, like, because sometimes you can get ahead of yourself, and it goes back. This thing bothered me the other day because I was gonna get a cut with one of my homies, and he said come at 2:00, and I was like, I haven't seen him in a minute. I want to get a cut with him. Comes, I get there at 1:50. I'm there waiting. 2:00 comes, and I'm like, where you at? He's like, oh, I'm stuck at the train. And then I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll wait for you another 10 minutes. 15 minutes go by. I'm like, what the fuck? You know? And he's like, oh, my bad. I've been moving this. Why didn't you tell me? Like, yes, I get it. You're the barber and shit, and I need you. But at the same time, I'm also paying for the service.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? So
price.
Like, and it kind of remind me when you said, like, I can be 15 minutes late. I can be this. And I'm like, yeah, bro. But at the end of the day, if time is valuable for the person that's at the shop that want to get a cut with you, if time is valuable for them, don't fuck with that.
It just depends on the relationship you have too, man. Like, that's what it all comes down to. And I feel like with barbers, a lot of times, like, we play favorites, and it kind of is like that. Like, if I
think everybody does that, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have favorite clients already.
There's a client that I've had for fucking 4 or 5 years that fucks with me every single week and shit, I'm gonna treat him different than the nigga that just comes to me when his real barber.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
As long as you treat everybody,
as
long as you treat everybody right.
But I think it's like more of like, if you're going to tell me to come at a certain time, like, don't fuck around with my time.
That's just
Like,
professionalism.
Professionalism. That's what it comes down to.
It's different if you're not even there. You know, if you see that he's there and he's just backed up, shit happens.
That's the difference. Well,
for sure.
Yeah, that's
but
different.
I'm talking about
But if
like,
he just hasn't showed up. That's
right. And like,
yeah.
Well,
like,
I think there's
I'm pretty sure you do this. Like, hey, bro, I'm gonna be late.
Yeah.
10 minutes later.
Yeah,
I
no,
can
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
You hit me up. All right,
Communication,
bet. You know what I'm saying? But if I
No,
didn't hit
for
this
sure,
nigga
for
up,
sure.
like,
No, yeah,
so
that's-
that shit like irritated me. I'm like, bro, like
And I mean,
professionalism.
as a barber, that's one thing I know that we need to do better on, because
I think people in general, bro,
And it goes
people
back
don't
to,
know how to
like,
communicate.
Exactly.
Well, and the thing is, I feel like with the whole barbering thing, we know that it's kind of fucked up, but we know that with that, like, it's kind of like a.
You can be booked, bro, but you also got it goes back to the camera thing.
Yeah.
Like you,
yeah, for sure.
You know
It's
what I'm
gonna
saying?
get to a point where you're just sitting on your
If you-
barber
if-
chair and you're like, damn, if I wouldn't have fucked this client
Exactly,
off, I'd
exactly.
be cutting right now. I wouldn't
Exactly.
just be
That's
sitting
why I
here.
said it's okay to treat your favorite clients better as long as you treat everybody right.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're professional, you communicate. That's my even at
Yeah.
work, bro. If I know I'm gonna be a minute late, I'm not late. I don't go places late normally. If I know I'm gonna be a minute late, I text my whoever's managing my shift that day.
Yeah.
If I'm not managing the restaurant, I text my boss, hey, I might be like 2-3 minutes late.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not planning on it, but I might be 5 minutes late. Because I know how long it takes me to get to work. So if I leave my house 5 minutes later, I'm always like, hey, I might be 5 minutes late. Just want you to know, but I'm on my way. Like, I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, and see, you've worked that. You're a manager, so you understand how it's like.
I know how frustrating it is
when
10
you're
minutes
waiting
into
for
the
your
shift.
to be over and this motherfucker is late. Like,
Or the other side, when I'm waiting for employees to show up and it's like 10 minutes in and they haven't texted, they haven't called, they haven't let you know anything, and you're just like, hey, did you fucking quit or are you coming to work today?
Yep.
Because in the service industry, you have so many no call, no shows.
Yeah.
People who just quit because they can go get another job at another restaurant. And like, that's kind of, it goes in with everything. If I'm going to go do a shoot, then I try to be 5-10 minutes early before the time that I told them. Because I'm like, hey, I might walk around and find the best spot for the shoot before they even get here.
you want to have some time
Make
to
it real
just
nice.
kinda
Yeah, just
in
get
everything
ready.
there.
You don't want
area
to
and
just get there. Like, I mean, I've done that a lot of times where
I still do it. It's hard.
I get to the shop, I'm 5 minutes late, so my whole flow of the day is
It's
just,
off.
It's off.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, the days that when I go in, when I'm there before the client,
You get to
like,
get ready
Those days
and-
are good, you know.
You get to
Or
go
when
to the
client-
bathroom, walk around the shop,
chill
say what's
out.
up to everybody, fuck around for a little bit, put the
Yeah.
music on that you like, just get everything
that's
ready.
a big one. Like if you're first, if
You're
you're there
vibing,
first,
yeah.
you run the aux. So I'm listening to that Mo 3 all day.
Yeah. So you pretty much want to put yourself in that position. That's a similar situation with me because like I have my part-time job, but I also work for 405 Buds and I do their video. And then lately I've been working a lot with Eddie. So for example, if I can keep them two giving me constant work, I'm good.
Yeah, you're
because I
busy.
also don't want to overwhelm myself with a lot of work because I want to focus on my personal brand, my business
for
and shit.
sure.
Balance the shit out.
And then
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Well,
And that's where I'm at right now. As
Those
far
are
as
transitions into doing what you
it
want
gives
to
me
do.
time. Exactly. It gives me time
But
to
yeah,
work on the
everybody
creative
has to
shit.
eat shit. At the
For sure.
beginning, you have to do the fucking.
I don't know how many free photo shoots or photo shoots for gas money I did when I started.
Oh, yeah.
And
Or
some of them
really-
are like some of my favorite content.
Yeah.
Because it was just me.
But you have fun with
no
it.
And it's crazy
expectations.
too, man. The thing that makes me sad sometimes is that the people that really sometimes like the people that really want to have you do their project, like let's say somebody really, really is excited about me doing the shit, and then I'm not excited about doing their shit. Like
Yeah.
that is kind of that's
sad.
one of the reasons why. Yeah, that's why I stopped doing the whole wedding and all that shit because I'm like, damn, this person is super excited that I'm shooting their shit, but then
I don't
not
feel the
excited.
same way.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
that's like being
Yeah, and you as a
selfish.
creator,
relationship with a girl that loves you, and then you're like, damn, I don't know about this shorty.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just there for the
Yeah.
walls.
Yeah,
That's it. Like, I'm just there to just
do my thing and bounce.
do my thing and bounce. But yeah,
No, yeah, it's important too, man. And that's what's nice about. I like shooting weddings.
or not just weddings,
I
like
don't
even
love
music
them.
videos. Like there's
Yeah,
certain
yeah, I
artists
mean,
that are like, oh,
yeah,
fucking-
in a general
and I'm
sense
just
of
I
like-
don't even like this song.
Yeah, in a general sense of like, jobs that as a creator that you like, but not necessarily are in love with. I love parts of weddings. I don't love the whole wedding.
right. It's a
I'm
long
not a huge
day.
fan of the ceremony. I like the very end of the ceremony. It's super fun. I like the getting ready shots and first look shots.
Yeah.
I love those.
You see they're nervous. And
I love those,
Yeah.
man. Because there's no directing, there's no posing. I mean, there's a little bit of posing sometimes. There's just, all you're saying is like, all right, hey, go tap him on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get all that raw emotion in a photo. Not just that, but you turn around and show it to them, like once you've edited it.
You see their reaction and shit.
And then they're like, oh my God, this is us? You took this? Like, you were standing over there? This did not look like this that day.
I think that's the favorite part, delivering and just seeing the reaction. I think, damn, you enjoy my fucking work.
That's
Hell
why,
yeah.
I think that's why one of the reasons, like, photo video for me, like, photo is my, like, happy place. The instant gratification. Like, well, cameras nowadays, too, like, you take a photo and you show them the raw photo, you know, in camera, and they're like, damn, that looks good. And so then you kind of laugh and you're like,
instant gratification.
Exactly, the instant gratification of like, and I get it a lot in the service industry of like,
so
bro,
why do you think you're such a people pleaser?
Man, I think a big part. I think I've always been a talker. I've been easy. Like, I made friends easy. Like I always had a lot of friends, and I wasn't popular, but I had friends. Like I always had people to hang out with. I always had people around me. I think it was just that, man. I think I come from a big family, being around a lot of people all the time. And I think restaurants, man. I think restaurants turned me in. Because when I was a kid, I was a host and a dishwasher and a busser. And I didn't talk to people all day. When I started serving and bartending, like, man, especially in the bar, bro, like you meet people. And a big thing is like on this side of the bar is a dude that just got off a 12-hour day in construction. And at the exact same time on this side of the bar is an attorney who hasn't worked all day and is making $300,000-$400,000 a year. And you're talking to both of them at the same time. So you're learning all walks of life and different. This dude's pissed off at his wife about something. This dude's drinking because he's stressing out about his bills at the end of the month. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just the people you meet and the things you do all day. And not just that, but you get this creative freedom depending on where you work. I've been lucky enough to have a lot of creative freedom, but like at my job, like we just dropped some cocktails and I posted a picture of one of the cocktails we created. But I got to help create that cocktail. Like I got to be a part of that creative process in that cocktail, and it's like a spiked iced coffee drink. So people are coming in and I'm selling this cocktail not only because it's good cocktail, but because I got to be a part of it.
You believe in it.
I took the picture for the social media post. I helped make the cocktail. It's a good drink. It's also partnered with like a local coffee shop across the street from us. And like these people drink it and then they look at you and they're like, shit, good. This is good. And I'm like, yeah, this is dangerous. This is a 7:30 in the morning cocktail. It's iced coffee. And then they laugh, and then I get excited because I'm like, damn, I just made that. If that person came in here with any kind of problem, frustrations or struggles, like they were happy for a little bit. Yeah. And then they bounce, you know. Same thing with food. Like I joke. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm corny as fuck at work, bro. People will come in and they're like, oh, what's good here, you know? And I'm like, well, obviously the ramen's really good, but the garlic fried rice will change your life. That's the type of shit I tell people at work.
You got to.
And they look at me and they're like,
nah.
It's gonna change my life.
Stop it.
Yeah, like what? I'm gonna gain powers or what the hell's going on? And I tell them I'm like, nah, it's gonna change your life. And like I serve them.
Sometimes shit does. Like when I go eat me a fucking plate of pho on the right day, that shit changes my life.
Bro, and like worst case scenario is like I just made them super happy for like 45 minutes and then they left. Like I'm cool with that. So is that
something that your parents instilled in you think?
Yeah, like my dad's kind of a serious person. Like yeah, my mom's a people person. She's always worked around people. She's good with people.
Cuando llega alguien a la casa, she's like the catering person.
She is for sure. And it's funny because my mom's white. My mom's American. She's from Tennessee.
Your dad is the Mexican.
Yeah, my mom's red-haired, freckles, white girl. Speaks almost perfect Spanish.
Man, talk about that a little bit, man.
Yeah,
like
man.
How it was growing up, because you're like,
it's crazy.
Ni de aquí, ni de allá. Like
yeah, I got lucky, man. My mom's family is real small. Like I only had one aunt who, you know, she's passed away already, but my mom was only one of two kids. My grandpa lived in Tennessee my whole life, and my grandma lived here, and they were divorced. It's sad to say it, but like my white side of my family, there was like really no culture. Mm-hmm. Just American, you know, like just kind of, you know, bland. My dad is one of 10. The first time I ever went to Mexico, bro, I was months old, like I was a baby. And my mom kind of absorbed all that Mexican culture from my dad's side of my family. Bro, my mom makes tamales by the dozen and sells them during like holiday seasons.
And she kills that shit.
Bro, she makes like hundreds of tamales.
Yeah.
Last year, she made 90 dozen. She has a full-time job and she sells most of them like at work. Nice. She'll just get a piece of paper and a pen and like, who needs this and this?
Did she pick up on the Spanish?
She speaks almost perfect Spanish, bro. Yeah. And my dad's real serious. So like, but my dad was that typical, like, he never talked back to my grandma or my grandpa, like super, traditional. You know, I remember one time I got smacked because I said "way" to some guy older than me at the soccer fields. Because he wasn't that much older than me, but he was old enough.
Yeah.
And he did something stupid, and I said, "Cállate, güey." And my dad smacked me, and he was like, "Eso no se dice." And I got in trouble, and I learned, like, those were the ways that I learned. It was like, cool, like, you respect people older than you, you know?
Yeah.
My cousins are all Mexican on my dad's side, obviously, but they grew up in a more American culture. So we would go to my family's house, and like my uncles and aunts didn't really like teach my cousins. So like, hey, you offer your uncle something to drink, you offer him something to eat.
Oh, saludar de mano.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, like, they all had manners at least, but my uncles loved coming to our house because like they would come in and hey tío, ¿quieres algo de tomar? Hey tío, ¿quieres algo de comer? Because that's who my mom is.
Yeah.
That's who my dad is too. But so like my culture is like, I would say it's like 95% Mexican and the other 5% is white. Unfortunately, on the outside, it don't look that way.
You're the miclo. Huh?
Yeah, man. I spoke Spanish first. I started school in Monterrey. Like I grew up, like you said, ni de aquí ni de allá. I was in Monterrey like 6 months out of the year until I was like 18. So summer break, Christmas break, fall break. When I was 3, I got left there for 6 months. Like I just stayed with my grandma for 6 months. And I started school over there because they told her if he's going to be here, he has to be in school. Mm-hmm. So I started school there, and that's why I didn't speak any English till I was like 8.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my background is definitely hardcore Hispanic culture. Like, and I love it, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, for sure.
But my mom took it all in, and she's that way too. Like, I don't know how many times I've been smacked with the chancla, or she yells our full name as loud as she can through the house.
That's dope. That basically all that translated, like, it helped you.
Yeah,
down the line. Like
in my professional,
that's probably
in my
why
career,
you were making those $300 a day and shit. Because not every fucking person does that. You know?
And like I'm a big, like, sometimes I feel bad that I do it, but like I'll go to drive-thrus and like, you know, those McDonald's co-workers, the employees, they're all miserable and they're pissed
That's what
off.
I was saying that, man. It's like, if you're gonna put yourself in a position to not offer at least customer service, the bare minimum, don't be there, because it's like you'll pull up to a drive-thru, McDonald's, how can I tell you order? I'm like,
yeah,
bro, at least welcome, eh? Like,
I love Cane's drive-thru, bro. They say some stupid as hell, and then they're like, "What are you having?" They're like, some picking. What kind of chicken? Some stupid shit.
Yeah, it's like, don't put yourself in that position. You have options. Like, why do you feel tied to service, to a place that requires service?
There's this dude at the Brahms on
Western
Council and Northwest Expressway and Council, like around that area.
Wait,
I would hire that motherfucker to do like a voiceover, because like you walk, like you go up and he's like,
you want to hear him? You just want to hear him.
Oh, is it a white guy?
Chubby.
Yeah,
big.
Bro, I swear to God, bro, I was like, man, if I had some,
have a great day.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, what the fuck?
Positive
bro?
as fuck. How's your day going? I'm like,
thank you.
It throws me off. I'm
like
like,
a machine, bro. Like,
you talking to me?
Like,
you talking to me?
I'm like, it throws me off, and I'm like, bro, we need more people like you and shit. Like, that's fucking amazing.
I feel bad sometimes because I'll go through the drive-thrus and I'm super nice to people because I do that, like, on a different scale, but I do what they do every day. And I'll get to the window and they're fucking miserable.
Yeah, I think.
And I'll tell them, like,
right,
hey, you know, you don't have to work at this place.
Right.
Like, I'll help you find a job if you really want to go work somewhere else.
I said some corny thing, but I'm pretty sure it made that person's day. I remember it was a Taco Bell. I was getting a quick little burrito and shit. And I went through the drive-thru and she asked me, like, how's your day going? I'm like, it's pretty good. How about yours? It's all right. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, you're alive.
I was like,
you're
all
right.
right. Why all right? Like, why didn't you change that? And she was like, oh, no. Like, man, we're blessed. Like, we're alive. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we got a lot to be thankful for, you know? So, change that around. You know what I'm saying? I hope you have a great day. And then I like, she gave me that look of like, shit, like,
he's right.
Damn, he's right.
Yeah.
Damn, he made my day a little bit better type shit, you know? So that to me was like the ultimate. And not only that, I feel like it's weird because yesterday when I walked into my shift, my manager was like, man, I like this guy. He always comes in and like, I can feel his energy. Like, it's just like he's like positive and shit. I'm like, thanks. Like, I didn't even realize that. I
had the opposite effect on my boss yesterday. I took a nap right before work. I fucked up. I took a nap like an hour, not grumpy, but like, you know, you're all groggy and like still trying to wake up. I took a nap like an hour before I had to like leave for work. And I woke up like just enough time, like brush my teeth, do something with my hair,
and bounce.
Like I was already in my work clothes. And I walk in and I'm usually that guy, like, what's up, guys? How's it, and like, hey, how was lunch? How we doing? Was it busy? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I won't shut the fuck up when I walk in. And then my boss sees me, gives me like a little, some dap, keeps walking, he's doing his thing. I go to clock in, and he comes up and leans on the thing, and he's like, you all right, bro? And I it caught me off guard, and I was like, oh, yeah, man, I'm fine. Like, I'm good, bro. My bad. Like, I didn't mean to put that off. Yeah, I just woke up, man. Give me like 15 minutes.
Right, you'll get back in.
My homie Vincent at school, he's an older dude. And I mean, same shit. Sometimes you come in, sometimes I'd come in, I had just smoked and shit, so I'm real friendly, real bouncing around the whole school and shit. And certain days, I'm just like, and he would just look at me and be like, I don't like your attitude today, man. Yeah.
And sometimes they gotta let you know. They gotta let you know. You're like, oh shit, wait.
It goes back to that consistency, man. If you're gonna consistently be people's like light in their day, like you can't fuck up and not be at that.
Because they'll notice it. They'll sense it.
They need it just as much as you do.
They're fixed.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. And it's like, I was like, shit, I didn't realize that shit. But it's several people that told me the same thing, and it's like, that's pretty amazing, man. If I can do that and provide value, whether it's energy or whatever the hell it is, it's like, that's amazing, man. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm a big fan of that shit, man. But one more thing, man. So you watched the Kanye podcast. Let's talk about that real quick. You watched it?
I watched a little piece of it. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I fuck with Kanye, man. I mean, I feel like Kanye is just misunderstood. And
I think that's what it is.
Another thing is like the whole opioid shit is...
Why do you think the media kind of like portrayed him like as crazy and
because
shit?
Is
it because he's trying to make a change?
He's passionate. It's like Joe Budden says when he flips the fuck out. He's like, I'm not mad, I'm passionate.
People are scared of what they don't know about.
I feel like based on what I was able to absorb out of that podcast,
he knows so much.
That he's a genius. Sorry. I think it's the weather that got my throat fucked up.
Yeah, I got sinus. I got some sinus shit going on.
God damn.
Leave, man.
But I think
all that shit out.
He's a genius.
Did you eat all that shit or what?
I don't know.
Fucking disgusting, man.
I was just clearing my throat.
Hey, you turned around. It's all good, bro.
I think what it really this Kanye was $52 million in debt, and he was able to turn that shit around.
And people it's crazy, bro, because.
And I remember those times.
People hate on Dame Dash, bro, but at the end of the day, a lot of people have gotten their fucking business model from Dame Dash because he says that shit. He's like, "Fuck saving money. That's for suckers. Like, if I had I could die tomorrow. So what the fuck am I gonna be doing with 53 million just sitting here? Like, I'm gonna flip it. So and it's scary.
I have a hard time finding that balance of.
You gotta have a lot of.
I worked for this shit. I'm spending it, and I'm gonna make more money off of it or whatever.
And see, that's probably why he's going crazy too. Because if you're 53, how many?
53 million,
or not crazy, but
52, something like that.
Come on, bro. No, at that point, I feel like you have that sense of you can't when he was on the Sway in the morning. He's like, how Sway? How? Because he's frustrated that people are trying to tell him what to do when they're bro, you didn't put all that money up.
Yeah, you didn't do that shit. In debt with a house and a car, and I'm fucking stressing out.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine that motherfucker. He
has to
keep Kim Kardashian happy.
Bro.
Yeah,
he fucking
that's 150 times more debt than I got. That's a lot.
He has to drop an album,
right? And he was able to flip that. That to me was whoa, yeah. So that right now he went from being in debt.
They say that there's a thin line between.
Genius
crazy
and crazy.
Genius, and the difference is usually $1 million.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
When you're broke, you're fucking crazy. But as soon as you make that money, they're like, "Oh, he's a fucking genius."
Yeah, exactly.
I think to me it's this guy is he's one of the Steve Jobs, and he has that mentality, and it's I never watched a lot of his interviews and stuff. But you can kind of tell
why he's so passionate about that shit or whatever is Even the way that the whole thing started, I think there was certain times where he got offended and he didn't say nothing about it because it's you see Kanye, he's a rapper, he's black, so you automatically think oh, this motherfucker, you're running for president, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like he even said Joe Rogan was they told Kanye that he should run for governor of California. He was like, I might do it, and then Joe Rogan said, at this point, I mean, anybody would be better than that guy. Like, what the fuck? You know,
what is that supposed to mean?
Like,
yeah.
what is that supposed to mean, bro? You can tell that he kind of like, he's kind of like,
yeah, he was basically saying people would settle for anybody else.
Yeah, so you might as well
not
run.
that he would be a good fit or anything.
Yeah, like that's the. And
Man,
I think that's Kanye's frustration is like, why aren't you guys taking me serious? Like, what else do I have to prove to you? Like, I just fucking did all this.
The general public doesn't give creators, artists, rappers, movie stars enough credit. These motherfuckers are educated.
Yeah, and then
a lot of them are educated. Most of them are educated.
And, I mean, not
even
just
the ones
like
that are
me,
rocking
like
grills with tattoos on their faces are fucking educated.
Yeah,
that's the lifestyle that they chose because a lot of times I'm sure it's because it made them millions of dollars at a young age. So that's what they dove into. But they're fucking educated
to do, bro. Like that's kind of what like we're just kind of conditioned for that shit.
And he's been in the game long enough. But you go to like Drake and you see how educated he is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But he didn't have that. People didn't see that on him when he started.
Right.
People saw some dude, he was a hardcore rapper, and then he did R&B or whatever, and then he did pop, and people just saw this artist. Not really like you look at his background and like the motherfucker's smart. He's like pretty smart dude.
Yeah,
he's an educated guy. Mm-hmm. So like they don't give these artists enough credit.
And you
for
know
how educated they actually are.
With Kanye, because he's putting his life in risk because he's like taking these big companies, these big record labels, exposing them, taking their mask off, and he's like, we need to innovate. And then like that's one of the things he stressed about a lot. We need to innovate this music industry because it's always been like these big companies are raping these artists. That's what they're doing. These contracts are meant to fuck these artists up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So he's like, we need to innovate.
That's what I'm saying. That's what fucking Dame Dash was saying like 6 years ago, and everybody was like looking at him crazy. And now it's everybody's like, oh, he was right.
Right.
This is exactly what's happening.
So like with that, like,
but it's all this. I hate to say it, but all this revolves around the American culture.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of contract you're signing in the U.S., it is designed to fuck you over.
Yeah, exactly. If
it's a house or a car,
interest rate.
I mean, it's without workers like. It's like whenever you're at a job and you're like, damn, I just sold this much and made this company this much money, and they're only giving me this.
Yeah, you're looking at commissions and you're looking at all that. Everything revolves around some kind of way to fuck over the little guy.
Like, because if so, then go do that shit yourself. That's how they kind of look at it. Like if you.
Well, that's why this time in our life right now, it's such a big thing because there's a lot of fucking people trying to do their own thing right now. There's a lot of
people aren't gonna make it.
That's and it might not be. Shit, yeah. It might not be because of that exact reason. It might be more so like, oh man, if my job closes down again, I'm screwed. So I need to do my own thing so I can stay open for as long as I want.
A lot of people are doing their shit,
but they're learning. They're learning in the process that man, this company's fucking me over.
Yeah,
I'm making this company this much money, and I'm only getting this much from it.
Exactly. Just always know when you work for somebody, you are replaceable. Doesn't matter what you bring to the table. Yeah. So that's like, work on your own shit. But like with the big part of like Kanye, and I think that's I support that shit fully. Is like also like he does mention like that God sent him, like he got touched by God, and that's I think amazing because with that, bro, it kind of brings unity. He hasn't been going to church lately due to the whole COVID thing, but he was there faithfully every Sunday, just preaching, and I think that
one thing I liked is that
brings them together, brings people together.
Joe Rogan asked him like, how do you still have time to fucking kind of like with the whole Elon Musk thing?
Yeah,
like how do you still have? Why are you doing that? And he just said that like, I mean, fuck, like I felt like that's what I need to do, so. I don't know what it was that told me that I needed to do it, but that's a weird thing because sometimes you can't explain why you're doing certain shit.
Yeah, a lot of times it's I did this before I blew up, and it was good for me, so I shouldn't stop doing it now just because I blew up. Yeah. So if you go to church every fucking week, and that made you feel good, and that kept you in check while you were trying to blow up. Yeah, I go to church every week. I'm not the most religious person, but. I have my beliefs and I go to church every week.
Feeling you get from.
Well, I like the discipline that I get from my pastor. I like I have a hard time like believing absolutely everything, especially the super traditional stuff of like, bro, that was thousands of years ago. Like, there's no way we can live that same way now in this era.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
And I have a hard time understanding how people pick and choose what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do in the sense of like, you're not supposed to get tattoos, but why are we allowed to pierce our ears as women? Or why do girls still get their eyebrows done? Or why do They shave their legs, and I mean, I'm thankful that they do all that, but like, why? You know, how come I can't get tattoos? But
right, but I feel like with that, like, why we have to, like, it's our body, like,
I agree.
If we like that,
so those are.
Well, I guess the whole thing is like it's your temple, so you should
and that's
disrespect your temple by
exactly
putting stuff on it that God didn't.
He didn't already put there
to this earth.
So that's why. But then
that's their ideology. I'm not saying that's mine.
Right. No, I'm just saying. I just think
those are the things that are hard for me to settle with. To be like, okay,
if I like art and I want to put it in my body, like,
I'm gonna do
what's wrong with that? You know, it's like.
Well, you're telling me idea. That's what it is.
Yeah,
like
for sure. Like,
but the reason I love going to church is because there's 100 other, those two things compared to 100 other things that I do believe 100%. That I do believe that love thy neighbor and respect thy mother and father and all those things that are like, like the only thing that can come from those things are more good things.
Right. Yeah.
And so like. Church is a big one for me.
Do you believe in the whole Adam and Eve thing?
Man, I don't know. I don't know what I believe in the sense of like of what stories are written in the Bible.
Yeah.
I look at like today and like I see all this crazy shit happening around the world, and it makes me believe more in that stuff.
Yeah.
And the plagues and these crazy storms that have never happened in these parts of the world, and earthquakes in places and tsunamis in places that they've never been. And you can go back and look in the Bible, and it says a lot of this stuff. This stuff is gonna come again.
And one thing that the reason why I'm like, I guess I kind of believe is like, if you just do the things that are like, I guess like my mom always told me, tenerle miedo a Dios, like
temor.
Yeah, temor.
You're not supposed to be scared.
Temor, o sea, que no vas a hacer stupid shit, and like there's somebody looking at all times.
Exactly.
Type thing. You know what I'm saying? I believe in that because like if you do fucked up shit, you're gonna feel like
fucked
evil.
Up.
You're gonna feel if you're fucking doing coke, if you're drinking, if you're fucking bitches, if you're in an evil kind of fucking
mind
mindset,
frame.
you know.
Yeah.
As to where when you're
I think in religion that's where that comes from is they wanted you to feel a conscience. They wanted you to feel like somebody was watching you, like you were. Because everybody knows you do the right thing when you're being watched.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If the cops ain't around, then I'm not stopping at this stop sign all the way. But if there's one right there, you best believe I'm stopping twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where that comes from. And I understand that because, I mean, as a parent, I want my kid to not necessarily fear me, but I want her to know if I'm around, she better not act up.
Right.
I want her to know when she's a teenager, when you're with your friends and you say bad words, it's all right. But when I'm around, don't say nothing stupid around me. And that's kind of the same. It goes back to that same mentality.
And see, that's crazy because I was my parents were backwards. Like my dad,
you could do it in front of them.
You can say all the shit you want.
And I'm more of like you know who you're supposed to do it around and who you're not supposed to do it around.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think going back to like the Kanye stuff, it's a great thing that he's incorporating God and religion because at the end of the day, that does bring people together, and he has such a big influence that we need that shit. We need the difference. We need, because it's all negativity and this and that. So like the positive shit is always underappreciated. So
100%.
I think that what he's doing and what he got planned for the future is pretty awesome.
It's crazy though because always the negative is what blows you up.
Right.
If it wasn't for all the
bad publicity is bigger,
slapping
for sure.
bitches in the ass, and he wouldn't be the Kanye that we.
Yeah, I mean, people still talk about the Taylor Swift incident,
or not just that. What I'm saying is like if it wasn't for all the
like the negative influences,
the negative shit.
The negative shit that because he had. I mean, the College Dropout was that was one of the biggest albums. So that was still like Kanye on his like
rapper
activist type shit, and then kind of like after that, I don't know. I feel like it just got. Like the song with Little Pump that he had, like why'd you do that, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know.
When you make that much money, man, you're allowed to do whatever you want. I guess.
I think
that's
at that point.
Like, I feel like he was going towards the evil side there for a minute. Like you know what I'm saying? Like by evil, I mean like rapping about shit that's making the youth do stupid shit,
like drugs and alcohol and
all that, you know.
Yeah, it's
females and shit.
Yeah, and influence and like.
And I think that kind of happens with a lot of like that's happened to me. Shit, that I've gone through that phase, and then I realized that I'm just kind of like, nah, that doesn't feel right. But then I think there is those people that will keep going like that. Like I think there is those people that just like praise to evil and like the devil's 100%. Gonna help me type shit.
Well, that's what like in our house. I know Halloween is for kids to go get candy, but like, you don't have to be a Satanist or whatever, but it's the day that the biggest amount of people who worship the devil like get together and they have cults and they have sacrifices. And so like in my household, it's like, man, are we really, really going to go out on this day and like
bring those vibes?
Yeah, I mean, and not necessarily the vibes, because like it's cute for kids to dress up and go ask for candy, and like some people.
That's the only time you get to dress up as like your superhero
your
idol
favorite,
or your favorite character and shit.
And like I get that.
There's two ways to look at it, because that's one way, and then the other way is like that's the perfect night to fucking grab a chainsaw and terrorize the fucking city.
And that's where like in our house we like I don't care either way. Like I don't care if my wife says, yeah, hey, let's go take, Maddie, my daughter Maddie, to go trick or treating. All right, cool, whatever. I'll go walk around and let her ask for candy. But my wife is the other side that's like, no, there's like kids being sacrificed on these days by Satanists and like cults and people who believe in like really, really bad shit. So we're not going to go out and celebrate this day, And I'm like, cool, I'll just go buy her a bunch of candy.
Is what they call it.
Satanist.
Or some shit like that.
Satanist is the actual like the religion. Satanity but so like I'm cool with that too, where I'm like, cool, like Halloween doesn't mean enough to me for me to be like, no, babe, we need to take her out to go trick or treating. It's like, cool, like if your conscience is gonna be clear that we don't take her out on this day because there's a lot of bad shit that happens on this day, then fine, I'm fine with that. But
yeah, I mean, I don't really like. I don't like Halloween. I
don't like scary shit.
I don't either, bro. I don't. Why the fuck am I gonna pay to go get scared?
That's what I say. I say the same damn thing.
I think a lot of people that do like that shit,
adrenaline junkies.
Just go walk on the northeast side at fucking 12 p.m. or something.
Let's go to Spencer, Oklahoma at 1 a.m.
That movies is safer. Like I'd rather do the movies. I think once in a while.
Go bungee jumping, like jump out of an airplane. Like what?
It's like having that, like, oh shit, like what if I was in that situation? Like that shit kind of creepy. Yeah. It's goofy, yeah, but it's like it's cool.
I like comedies. I like romantic movies. I like animated movies. I'll pay for that.
Like my number one option when it's time to watch a movie, it's not the scary one, but once in a while I'm like, let me go watch this movie. I want to like get that like. So I don't know.
So the other day I was telling
me a pussy.
Yeah, the other day I was telling my brother-in-law
about being a little putty.
They love scary movies, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go watch. Like, I know it's not real, like Chucky and Michael Myers and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then my brother-in-law looks at me and he goes, Michael Myers and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre were real. And I go, there's another good reason for me not to watch this shit. Okay, so
like let's say I'm going to direct a movie about the dude that shot the movie theater or whatever. Like I'm going to sit here right now and actually as a director I have to get in his
head,
in his evil fucking vibe. So it's like, no, I don't want to do that shit. Like
that I think that to me is interesting.
Because I guess I
like,
it's interesting for sure.
Like being behind the scenes.
I don't want no part of that.
Like being a director saying, let's do this Exorcist movie.
Oh hell no!
Bro, that means you have to put yourself in that. Like
you're making my hands sweaty right now, bro. Just talking about this shit.
Like you watch a Tarantino interview, this motherfucker is nuts, bro. He's nuts. Like
he's gone.
Godly. No,
se quedó en el avión el pariente.
A lot of crazy shit, man.
Tornillos.
Man, bro, to be honest, we've been in this bitch for an hour and 41 minutes.
Damn.
Whew. Tom flew right there. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and wrap this up. But before we do this, Dillon, where you see yourself in 5 years, man?
Man, in 5 years, it's hopefully doing my own thing, man. That's all I'm really looking at as my short-term goal. That's kind of a short-term goal for me. But, doing my own thing, working for myself.
Photography and going
doing
ham
photography
on it.
Full-time. Hopefully by that time, I learned a little more video and can expand my craft.
Step by step.
But, yeah, I'm not in a big rush to get, dive straight into video and stuff like that.
It'll come at its time.
Yeah, something that I'd like to fiddle with, but for sure, just hone my craft more. I know I'm pretty young in the industry as a photographer, but just, hone my craft more and be doing that full time, booking shoots out, months in advance and being too busy to go work for anybody else.
Hell yeah, that's
where I see myself.
If you had to go back 5 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
Man, I think I stopped myself from doing things that I thought I would enjoy. So I was never that guy that, I know you guys, I mean, I've done a lot of things work-wise, like and worked for different places. I think you guys talked about this on a recent podcast where you have to find what you like you have to do this and this and this and this. Mm-hmm. I think I would have done more of that. I think I would have tried more things. I think I would have picked up a camera sooner, maybe fuck with music or done more things
So kind of
out of my
see.
comfort zone, so I could find what I wanted to do faster.
Okay. Yeah, that's a valid one.
That's a good one.
That's a valid one. We preach that shit a lot too. You
Yeah,
know,
because
sometimes you
I
gotta do it.
definitely didn't. I didn't
Try
try.
it.
I didn't try. I was good at something, and I did that. And I did more things in that realm. So in the service industry, I was just a server,
But
and
see,
then I
that's
was a
good too,
bartender.
though. I don't know.
It is good, but it's all the
yeah.
same industry. I never branched out and said, "Hey, I want to learn this or this or this or this." I should, I'm 28, so by this time in my life, I wish I could have already tried to learn like 10 things.
Right.
And I've learned like 3.
Okay.
So-
but it's never too late. I think one thing we do got to keep is the mentality of being young. Like then Kanye
sure.
did stress that a lot. And I'm like, why do we think when we hit 30 or when we hit 40, like we're old and shit? Like why? Who says that? Like we got to be in that mentality because when you
you're only as young as you feel.
Exactly. It's like with Saul. I don't know exactly what his age is, but I feel like I can kick with him any day.
Yeah.
Like he's probably
He's
maybe
young at
10
heart.
years.
CAC is 40 years old.
Yeah.
And that's like, I've been fucking working out with that motherfucker every day. Like, and it's cool, bro.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were driving and he was like, man, bro, I wish we would be like the same age. Like, I wish we would have been young together because we would. I'm like, man, I don't know, bro. We would have probably
Fuck
been
some
bad
shit
for
up.
each other.
Yeah, that thing shit happened. It's like you just don't have to let that age shit kind of determine like, oh shit, I'm old for this. I'm old for that. Like,
Yeah,
nah,
for
just,
sure.
go
No,
for it.
my father-in-law tells me something every time we talk, and he says, "No te preocupes que acabo tiempo hay mucho." So there's a lot of time to do everything you want to
Yeah,
do. You just got to find it.
Where can people find you if they want to see your work, if they want to maybe book something with you?
For sure. Most of my stuff is on Instagram. I'll do a lot of stuff that I enjoy shooting on Instagram. So it's not only the type of stuff I do, but it's at Dill, DILL _Espinoza. And then my Facebook is just Dillon Espinoza Photography.
And keep that Instagram like that, bro. You've changed it like...
No, I changed it one time. I changed it one time.
What? So
No,
then when I link
I-
something, like on one of my videos when we did the behind the scenes, it
Yeah,
has a
that's what
difference. So
happened.
when people click on it, it's like...
It's different, yeah.
It's not
I
there.
changed it because I was in the works of doing something with another group.
right,
And
so
then I decided not to go
always
that
stay.
route.
I was going to tell you, always stay with
not
it.
to go that route. That's what's on my business cards. That's what I give out all the time.
Because
So
if somebody were to click on that video link, it was
Yeah.
not going to show up anything because
right.
it's not there.
On Instagram, you can even just search my name, Dillon Espinoza. It's
And it'll pop up.
it'll pop up as Oklahoma City photographer. I'm happy to send more work, other kinds of work. I have kind of an editing style, but that's not the only thing I know how to do. So.
Right. So, man, I appreciate you for coming
Yeah,
through, brother.
I appreciate you guys
This
having
shit-
me, man. It was
Man,
fun.
I have a feeling Dillon's going to be one of the regulars, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I hope so,
for
man.
sure. It was one hell of a podcast. I mean, almost 2 hours and shit.
For sure. And
I
I was worried I wasn't going to have enough to talk
Nah,
about.
bro, I'm telling you, this is the beauty of this thing. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for the support and love. Peace.